people in here.
I'm
Oh.
there. I just
Wait,
It might be me. It might be me twice. Maybe? No?
No,
there's 4
fine.
people.
Talking about the watch together link.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So I just posted it again.
Yeah.
Do you see it?
I'll see if this works.
Yeah, because I'm doing it on my phone.
Okay, do you see it now?
Yeah, I see it now.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, for whatever reason, it like when I'm doing it on my laptop, everything is there, so I can see the window and the message and stuff like that. On my phone, it's just like a black screen with like whoever's in the conversation. That's it.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
I can't believe I gave birth to Hechan. Anyway.
Okay, so we've got for our first video. I'm not overly familiar with them, but I do know that people were claiming they plagiarized Tinashe.
Dia.
Yeah.
I see. Super
And
Love.
So I had to put them on the list, and poor things. They said that if this new comeback did not do well, that they might not come back. Period. So
dang, I wish we could compare.
Yeah. So let's watch Dia. Honestly, I don't get into Tinashe like that, so I can't really say whether they...
Same.
I like Tinashe. It's you know what it is? It's mostly the beat and instrumental. Because like the song structure is not like I don't think it's that similar. But because the beat is pretty much the whole entire song, it kind of brings it forward a little bit more. But these girls are boring. Like I've tried to get into Dia. I have literally like, you know, they used to be Tiara's sister group and whatever, and I was just like, okay, I'll give them a shot. They're just so boring.
There's nothing, absolutely nothing to set them apart at all.
Yeah.
No, there's no effort put into this MV. The song itself is okay, but it's just...
I'm honestly kind of burnt out on like beach shots.
Yeah. Yeah, this summer.
Yeah.
MVs. Yeah.
I think this would have been better received if it was dropped in the beginning of summer than now. Because I feel like this is more of a summer song than a lot of the songs that were released. Like in terms of like the energy. But now we're just like tired.
I think that's the issue, is that there's no energy in this video.
Well, the energy of the
It's supposed to be
song.
a summer video, and there's like no energy. Like they're just sitting there and staring in the camera.
Yeah, the energy of the song, not the energy of the girls. They're not doing much. I think they're just trying to be cute.
I mean,
ironically, the song it doesn't bother me. It's not a bad song, I think.
No.
Yeah, the song is not bad. It's just
boring.
Yeah, it's just there. And they're not selling it.
It's crazy to... Yeah? Sorry.
No, I was about to say, like, the one thing I can say about groups that I may not love, like Twice and such, you know, I may not love all of the stuff they put out, but they sell their image. They sell themselves, you know?
They seem like they're having fun. And
yeah. It's just weird to me that, like, MBK, you know, gave Tiara such, like, unique sounds and, like, you know, Brave Brother songs and whatever. And, like, Dia, it's like they didn't put any effort. I don't know if they're broke, and that's why, but it's just, like, they have, there's nothing here.
I wouldn't trust MPK with, those poor girls. I mean, after everything that happened with Young, I would not.
I'm trying
to tell you, when I go to Korea, I'm just gonna egg that building. Yeah, I said it. I am one of my least favorite people in the world is the CEO of MBK, former Core Contents. Entertainment. I'm
and they're
sorry.
still trying to get those girls' name. Like they lost the court case, and they're still trying to like appeal.
Yep. They have 3 more times. So hopefully they all get rejected and Tierra just like reform with Chinese money and like make bops. Just continue to make bops.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, this I actually think this song is more memorable than the video. The main thing I remember
Yeah.
about the video is their wigs were just atrocious. Jesus. Like unblended, like I don't even know where to begin. They could have done better.
So one of
With
the
their
girls
styling.
from sorry?
With their styling, I'm saying they could have done better.
One of the girls from IOI is in this, right? Is that like the claim to fame?
Isn't it more than one?
I don't really know IOI like that.
I don't remember. I feel like there's more than one IOI chick, but I don't. Yeah, I can't remember at this point.
So yay!
Well, there's at least one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
You guys are so
I like
shady,
the song.
man.
I like the song.
That was
That
cute.
was my first time. I liked it.
The song is not bad.
I wish there was more kind of like beach kind of stuff, like instead of them just being
there.
Cute. Like they were playing like they were playing volleyball or like on like those jet skis, but I don't know, because maybe there would have been an accident with that. Yeah. Anyways, sorry.
They could have played more into it. I feel like they were trying to do all Tumblr aesthetic and everything with it, and it just didn't work. All right, that was Dia with Woo Woo. I guess we're not going to call them Tinashe copiers because I didn't really see the.
Most people are not checking for Tinashe anyways, so I mean,
she's got her own. She's got her own problems that we won't go into.
I actually like Tinashe and I like her music, but I'll be honest, a lot of people are not checking for her.
Because Tinashe is a little bit cringy sometimes. I think. I think
she
tries a little too hard.
Yeah,
poor girl has her own issues, so we'll just leave it at that.
Yeah.
So next one is our new goose. As far as I know, D Crunch.
Woo!
I'm going to do our new goo trend. So we had Golden Child. So this is D Crunch, and this is Palace. So this is my first time watching this. I don't know anything about them.
Nope.
And we're gonna introduce ourselves to D Crunch.
Yeah, they're definitely friends with Yoongi.
Okay, I did not expect this right off the bat.
Okay, the beat so far sounds dope.
Yeah.
Got the SWAT gear on. All right.
Looking like ATs is their name. The other new group.
Sounds like a man.
Okay. The only thing with the SWAT gear, okay, is I can't tell who is who at all.
Not with those hats.
No.
Right.
Oh well, he has flow. He's doing it.
Yeah.
He said everything's so dope. So far I prefer their rapping to their singing.
Me too. So many people and just the two of them.
Yeah.
Yeah. This reminds me of Yu-Gi-Oh's interview, or the interview that they got 7 did, and Yu-Gi-Oh starts doing this little run dance move. It's a you had to be there moment. So
I just realized I don't really know exactly how many people are in this group.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's like they have some dancers or everybody that's in the frame is part of the group.
I'm Googling right now. Let's see. D-Crunch.
This is definitely like, I don't know why, but it gives me mama tease.
Kind of, yeah.
It's mostly because it's like the set is really dark a lot.
Yeah. This is definitely minimalism.
Yeah. I was gonna say, it kind of like looks wise, when it's red, it really reminds me of NCTU's
yeah.
7 Cents. I mean, superior song, obviously, but
right,
like the look of it.
I was about to say, this feels like it could be. It's not bad, right? Like it's not bad at all to me. It's just not something that I think would make me stand. Like,
no, it kind of sounds like a mixtape, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It sounds like something that NCT or
BTS.
BAP may have recorded and then never released for many good reasons.
This reminds me of like all those boy group debuts from like 2012, 2013.
Right. Mama, No More
Dreams. Mama was a great song.
Mama, you know what? That was shade, but
so there's like 9 people in this group. So I think everybody here is Mama. Yeah, I just checked on like the K-pop Wikia.
So they're all.
What's the name of this song though? Is it
Palace?
Palace.
I don't think they said Palace once actually, which is a record.
Yeah. Okay.
So that is D-Crunch. It wasn't terrible.
I mean, if they want me to stand, they're gonna have to change their name, change their style, get some vocal coaches.
Yeah.
They got
like let us see who the rest of the group looks like.
Yeah, I want to see faces.
Like.
So you want a whole re-debut? You want a re-debut? Basically, that's what you want.
Basically, just re-debut.
Just re-debut.
Don't even
re-debut.
You know what though? I'm gonna give them a bit of props because they came out with something maybe that they're more comfortable with, and I don't think it's a popular sort of concept. This sort of deep, dark or hip hop, like whatever. None of these guys look cute, you know. Like you can't really see their faces. I feel like it's kind of like anti-K-pop, but K-pop at the same time. I kind of respect that.
Yeah, they're trying to go hard, and like I have the feeling like they're trying to be like a hip hop, BAP, BTOB old style type group where they're all about the hip hop and everything. So we don't need to. You don't need to see our faces. You don't need to see us with multicolored hair, that type of deal.
Yeah.
But we do kind of need to know who you are.
Yeah, because I was a little lost.
Yeah, me too.
Like some names on the screen or something,
Yeah, it looks like though that's not like their debut. It looks like they have their debut single was called 0806 because it was released on August 6th. Okay. So it looks
Yeah. So this is just an early single. This is they've already come out and we just missed it.
Well, like I say with all new goos, everybody has a chance to improve, including Golden Child, including these guys.
Shout out to Golden Child.
No, I for real. I think everybody I think when you debut, that's what it is. It's a debut. Not everybody can start out with a bang like Shiny or NCTU or, you know, other groups that don't come to mind right now. But not everybody can start out with a banger, you know? And sometimes you have to you have to do a little bit of good stuff at a time and then work your way up.
Yeah.
They have nowhere to go but up from here. So like,
yeah,
just look at it like that.
Yeah. Keep working.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
one day you'll get there. Okay.
Shout out to
Everybody
D-Crunch.
will. You know what?
That's our new shout out to Golden Child is shout out to D-Crunch.
Yeah.
Let's just put Golden Child to the side. Let's D-Crunch. D-Crunch.
D-Crunch is our group now.
Yeah.
All right. One group that does not need our shout outs is Luna, who has come out with their debut, whatever you call it. Favorite with the big O. I don't know why they spelled it that way.
It's because of how they pronounce it. It's like favorite. Like that's how she literally pronounces it in the song. So.
Okay, so this is what we're going to see by Luna is Favorite, and this is not even the tip of the iceberg, obviously.
Oh, there's more.
No, this is Palace again. This is Palace again.
We thought we were done with them.
You're already hooked.
Hey, shout out to them. They're getting their screen time.
You know what? It was that shout out. Now they got played twice. Like Fate.
There we go.
All right.
Now for Luna. Luna, the full moon.
Yes.
All right.
Okay, not gonna lie. I thought this was really cool. Her walking up to them. I don't know why.
I think that's Heejin, because I'm not 100% sure about all the girls, I'll be honest. And she has a lot of chemistry. Like, it's just a lot of, like, stage presence.
I don't really have a favorite among them. I just kind of know Kim
That's
Lip
Eve.
because I like
Eve?
Eclipse.
Yeah.
But
I like her.
Yeah, she was just on screen.
You know who they are because you can see them. Just pointing that out.
I will say
hats, just throwing that out there.
I do think they should have had numbers.
The beginning of this song, like the very opening of it, is the best part.
I don't know. The dance breakdown. I don't know, man. Just the instrumental of the song.
Kind of noisy to me. I'm gonna be honest.
Yeah, that's how I feel.
The first time I listened to it, I did think like, wow, there's a lot going on here. But you know, I'm on like maybe the 10th listen by now, so I was just like, oh, I dig everything about it.
This sounds like the early 2000 kind of pop.
I love that pop
to me.
sound. Yes.
When everyone was trying to sound like Crazy in Love type of pop. Yeah. Also, just to like
has energy, unlike the Dia video.
Yes.
Yeah.
Dia had a better song though. Sorry. I'm gonna get hate for that.
You know what? If you listen to this song twice and you listen to Dia's song twice, this is a song that's gonna stick with you.
This is what?
I said this will be the song that sticks with you. Just for that part in the chorus.
Just to mention, if you want to know that a good fraction of these girls are underage, just if you're wondering what some of these dance moves,
Yes. That's my only problem with Luna, because like the youngest member, I can't remember her name, she's like 16 maybe.
What?
So I was like, what is going on here? But Cherry just turned 18, I think. So I think most of the girls are like above 18 now, but it is really weird with like them dancing on the floor like that. I was like, I hope that the youngest member is not doing that. Like, I hope she's like at the side.
See, that kind of thing makes it hard for me to like fully stand because I can't really know. Like, I feel that way about a lot of groups where the members look really young, or they are like rumored to be really young, or you know what I mean. Like, if you're born after like 1997, I have a lot of reservations with standing.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, I get that. I like Susie from like Twice.
See,
but like she's like my favorite
I know from Twice. I think her name is Chuya. Is how you pronounce it?
Chuya, yeah, Chuya.
And that's because I think she's like the dopest one, right? Isn't that what everybody says?
Who is she?
Again? Wow, was that shade or is that a serious?
No. I actually don't know. I like Twice. I like.
She's the Chinese member. That
she's Taiwanese.
Taiwanese, yes.
Oh,
because
you know what?
Taiwan, the real China.
Got into that whole controversy because
it is the real China. Oh wait, we shouldn't be saying stuff like that. Actually,
yeah,
before we get shut down,
right?
Okay,
no, right?
China is the real China,
and we can't contact each other anymore.
Oh my God.
Oh, you know what? I've been calling her Susie. Because I don't know why, I've just been calling her that, but I think that's how you pronounce her name, Chuzi, or like Tzuyu, right?
To be honest, I have no idea. I don't know. Heard Chu, and I just was like, okay, that's what I'm calling her, because I have no idea.
But that's actually one of my favorite members of Twice, and I think she's the Maknae, right? She's the youngest.
I think so, right? And she was also the one that JYP was sexualizing first.
Wait, what?
Yeah, that was so weird. That was before I got into Twice. I was like,
she had
I remember seeing articles about that
commercial. I remember where she was like doing sexy dancing, and she was definitely underage at that point.
Yeah, in like an elevator or something like that, and that was the first thing I heard about Twice. So I was like, oh, might as well stay away from this.
Yeah. Although, to be fair, I don't think she's done anything like that since, but it was really uncomfortable at first because I think she was really popular. I don't think her popularity has kind of waned since then, but she was like one of the more popular ones in the beginning. And
yes. And then they had that flag incident where she had like the Taiwanese flag and like people in China were like hating on her and she had to do that weird like apology video.
No, I mean she had to. I mean,
so crazy.
They were writing this stuff up in like the New York Times and shit. Like it was a big deal.
Yep.
It was getting like international press.
Yep.
So yeah. So that's Luna. Hopefully they won't have any of the same problems. I don't think so. They have all Korean members as far as I know.
Yes.
Yeah. All right, so next we have Stray Kids.
Yes. You know what? I don't know who these people are. Like I've seen them all over the place. I don't know who they are.
Stray Kids are like the Luna of boy groups.
Yeah.
Their name is everywhere. And I don't
the JYP, right?
Yeah.
Yep. They're still kind of like burgeoning. They haven't really made their mark yet. They're still kind of like working.
And I think like a good 50% of them are like Australian, or most of them are something. For real, like
that is very cool.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
And they're all like 15 or something.
Yeah, they're pretty young.
You know what's weird? I honestly find it like harder or weirder for me to like stand underage like members from like boy groups than it is from girl groups, because for girl groups I don't like look at it sexually at all.
Right.
But with like guy groups like NSYNC and whatever growing up, it's always like he's cute, you know, whatever, and I'm just like, whoa, you're very young.
Yeah. I guess because it's like it's obvious that they're trying to appeal to the female gaze. They're trying to appeal to you, but it's like no
thanks.
Like I'm not the one that you need to be appealing to.
Sometimes it actually confuses me who boy groups are trying to appeal to, because sometimes the things they say, I'm like, are you guys full adults saying this? Like, Don't cheat on me, fans. Like what?
They're not writing the lyrics, you know. So
let me just say the thing about young kids, like, is that they will say and do things to try and be more grown than they are.
Okay.
You said what?
Yeah.
I said, the thing about kids, or like young kids, is that they try, like they say and do things to be more grown than they are. Trust me, I
Yeah.
know.
but
I work
yeah,
with kids, and some of the things that they would say, it was like they heard an adult say it, and then they said it, and it's like you don't know what you're talking about.
Right.
Really, you don't. You don't know what you're talking about. And it's just, I don't know. I just think entertainment, and I just don't.
Yeah.
I mean,
I'm like,
remember
I'm
we
not,
had
I'm not like
Shiny doing the Nuna,
And replay. Yep.
You're So Fine thing. So
Okay, replay is iconic, and the main reason why like I don't roast them for their Nuna like jailbait concept is just because they had so many like bops.
I don't blame them for.
that
I
is
mean,
not
they
the
didn't write it.
reason.
Yeah, they were just trying to debut. They had no control over
Yeah,
anything.
That was not the reason.
No, I mean like
my
just
head.
that's what I'm saying. Like the only reason why I don't roast, and you know what I mean. Like you guys know what I mean. I'm not gonna.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I do.
Let me verbalize it. I
So
know
back
it's
to-
like not there.
Back to this song. I'm actually kind of liking the song. I feel like what D-Crunch should have done was maybe like added some color, added some faces if they wanted to do the hip hop kind of like concept. Because this is definitely a hip hop concept, and
I
they're
feel like
like,
this may have been too like, I don't know, too youngish for like too like soft for D Crunch though.
yeah, with that guy's grown voice. Yeah.
D Crunch was trying to go hard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like this song because it has like the rock kind of feel to it.
Yeah, like GOT7 used to have one, right? Like a little rocky at the beginning. No.
Kind of. This reminds me of like Icon, just like a fun party song.
I
And
mean,
guess
yeah,
that's
it
kind
does,
of like,
right?
that's what I kind of like. I mean, it's nothing. While on the surface, nothing serious, but like when you look at the lyrics, I was like, oh, okay.
Like,
I
I'm not
guess it's
trying to
another-
say that they're going to like replace GOT7, but I feel like Stray Kids is like the younger GOT7.
Yeah. I think that Stray Kids definitely appeals to like one thing I noticed, like their stans who love them, they stand them hard, and it's like usually younger demographic, of course, like much younger. In terms of this particular song, I didn't like it, but I'm sure there's a ton of their fans do. It wasn't my cup of tea. So far, Dia has been the best song of the night to me. Maybe Luna in there, but
yeah, we haven't really had a great selection. Well, maybe the next one will change our mind. So
Which is
our next one is a veteran, well, compared to everyone else.
Yeah.
So we've got another one that is trying to replicate their summer hit of the last summer, Red Velvet.
honestly, Red Velvet.
Power up.
It is.
Okay.
There's no power in this song. I feel bad for Irene. She's like a grown ass woman singing banana, banana.
Remember, she has no control over this.
That is
Right.
my
They're just
exact
like,
thought.
baby shiny.
Yeah.
That is my
You know what it is? When they
exact
added Yuri,
They said that she was supposed
everything
to
just
be
got
in the
younger.
group. They said
I
she
doubt
was
that.
originally supposed to be. I don't know, cause like their whole debut was rushed and everything.
Yeah, the
and
whole
then
situation
it's
behind that
just-
was weird.
It's just I don't know.
I will say they look great. Look fantastic.
This reminds me of Cheetah Girls.
That look right there, that reminds me of Secret. Like when, like that was their kind of concept. Like that's what that reminded me of.
This is the song that's like currently #1 on Gown.
Yeah, it was their first
I'll kill.
kill, yeah.
Perfect all kill at that, yeah.
Yeah.
And that's all I knew.
Not even Bad Boy was an all kill.
No.
No.
Not even Dum
What?
Dum.
No.
You know what? Apparently though, it's the first one for SM, like the first perfect all kill. Like
But
that's what I read
apparently
somewhere.
this goes back to some sort of like thing with SM and Mnet and them not wanting to like give all kills to their artists. So
Ooh, I actually have a really thought-provoking EXO theory, but
Sure.
that's for later.
Okay.
Conspiracy theory? You have my attention.
Yes.
I was about to say, I was like, go ahead.
We'll talk about it. We'll get into it.
Oh my gosh. That TV, like that TV in the background, that reminds me of the project we need to do. Like we had to like take something small and like blow it up, and we can only use cardboard. Yes, that's what that reminds me of.
One thing I have to say, I don't like Red Flavor, but I could see how people could get into it because it was a happy, like
upbeat, fun song.
But this is just
boring.
It's just kind of like what.
And Whitney, and there's Wendy doing her famous black girl impersonation because you know she loves to do those.
People were saying like Wendy is like super into this like promotion for some reason.
Well, I mean, she doesn't look like she's starving like she was for Red Flavor, so I honestly prefer this one in that sense for her, because I actually don't even like Wendy, and I felt really bad for her last promotion. Not Bad Boy, sorry, not Peekaboo, but for Red Flavor, because she was so skinny. I was like, someone needs to give this girl a sandwich like right now.
What is with SM and this like extra emphasis on like CGI? I noticed that a lot of SM groups who've released videos in like the last year, all their videos just feel like it's just been processed through a computer. Like Coco Bop like was like that, and it's got like these psychedelic visuals. I don't know. There might be an Illuminati tie there.
Mind control.
Mind control. Yeah,
it's weird because I feel like they first started doing like stuff like that with FX, and it's kind of spread to the other groups. Like FX was like their it was like their experimental group, and then like they started doing more of that with NCT and Red Velvet. And,
I would say Shiny though too. Like Shiny had a real big experimental and even with what's that song called? Low? Was it Low? Down? I can't remember the name of the song.
How's it go?
The one in the summer. View. Yes. Yeah. Great. It's a great song. But like I feel like Shiny's always in the forefront of music in that sense.
Yes.
Like so them and FX is like their female counterpart because they're both always like cool. Just like doesn't matter what they're doing, they're cool at it.
Yeah.
Where like NCT, EXO, Red Velvet, like they're making some good music, but I don't feel like the confidence, you know? Like
I can feel that.
Yeah.
Like I don't buy it from them. And like Red Velvet especially, live stages are so boring.
Red Velvet they're not there.
But the crazy thing is like I am a Bad Boy supremacist. Okay, to me, Bad Boy is probably one of the best songs released this year, like hands down in K-pop. Like, and that's coming from somebody who cannot stand Wendy. That's coming from somebody who had a hard time accepting Red Velvet and everything. That going from that to this is just like a complete what the like. To me, I'm just like
that's the thing. That's their whole concept is the red and the velvet. So like Bad Boy is the velvet. This is the red, right? So
this is for the kids. That's what. This is for the kids, and Bad Boy is for the adults.
It seems like the difference. I don't know if you guys maybe thought of it this way too, but it seems like the difference between like last year Power versus like The Eve. Like when EXO released Power, I was like, what exactly do they want me to take away from this? Like I get that it's their super like alien hero EXO theme, but it was just like I don't know. It wasn't. It didn't
Then
go.
they performed it at the Olympics. In that.
Yeah, and where half of them didn't even look like they wanted to be there. They were halfway out the door running after Lay. Like,
Wow.
I
I mean,
don't
the only
know.
thing people remember at the Olympics was CL performing "I Am the Best" because everybody knew the lyrics for that song. Everybody.
Ooh, the tea suddenly got hot.
Whoa.
Wait, okay. I have a question though.
Yeah.
Like for us here, like, are we Red Velvet fans? Are we fans of their songs? Are we fans of their members? Like, I don't really know
I
anybody
like
who's like.
some of their
No.
songs. I'm not
Okay.
fans of them themselves.
No.
The group, I find the group is just, I mean, minus Wendy, because I just can't include Wendy. I like Sulgi because she actually looks like she gives a crap when she performs.
She's the only one giving a crap.
Yeah.
Wasn't she the one teaching the dances to Taeyong and Suho?
I
Yeah,
wouldn't be surprised.
probably because I saw her teaching it to Yuna. So I
And
think it was probably
Taeyeon,
her.
right? No,
Yeah,
no, the one that's close to Taeyeon is Yuri, I think.
I don't like Yuri. We were
No,
honest, like, I just like, she can't sing, she can't rap. What is she doing here? Like, I just don't get
She's
it.
the Black Pearl.
Yuri's like the Sehun of Red Velvet. Ooh, never mind. Just say that,
That's what they call her.
Yeah,
They call her
I just,
I don't know. It's like,
Oh, that's an
Red
insult.
Velvet, I don't know.
Those are
They
fighting
just-
words.
I just don't know. I mean, I do have my thoughts, but I don't want the fans to come after me.
Honestly, I don't
So,
care if they
I
come
didn't,
for anybody.
so-
They can come for me all
I
they
don't
want.
know.
Red Velvet fans, I'm sorry. Your girls, they gave us a bop, but I fail to see what else they're giving us.
They're giving us a song that Korea will eat up.
will love.
They
Yeah.
can have their, perfect all kill and try to act like they're queens of summer, even though Sistar still holds that crown.
Woo.
Even like, all like, I just like looking at that song and then flashing back to like Ice Cream Cake and like,
I did
Yes.
it's just so
There you go.
so mind-boggling that they're making like this is the song. Though I did hear from a lot of people that the other songs on the mini were much better than this. I guess this is
They
more like
are.
public
Their
friendly.
B-sides, are always better. And it's
Body Talk, Body Talk.
yes,
That's
yes.
that's my ride or die song.
I
That and Ice Cream
cannot
Cake.
believe that is a Red Velvet song, Body Talk. Like, it
I
blows my
know.
mind.
But that's the problem, because when I see whatever we just watched, and then I hear things like that, like Body Talk is, the jam. I'm like, are y'all for real? Are y'all lying? Because what we just watched, I'm like, I don't want to know, because this is like them singing about them strawberries. Now they're singing about bananas. I don't.
And like,
And they're not thinking about the right kind of bananas.
See, okay,
See-
then how come they couldn't make another video and showcase that side too? Like, I don't understand.
Right.
Like, why can't they do both? Because I mean, what we just watched was like Nick Jr. kind of stuff. I'm not-
Well, that's what the Velvet side is for, right?
But
So
I-
that they can.
well, they need to show that more and not
Yeah.
just like, I mean, yes,
I
I
feel
mean,
like
I
this
did see that
concept-
with Bad Boy, but not with this.
I
Like,
feel like every member of this group is a little too grown for this concept to work like they want it to, personally.
yeah,
Like,
except for Yuri.
I mean,
Their personalities don't even come off as like naturally inclined to this style. Well, their images,
yes,
'cause I don't
okay,
know them.
yes, I
Yeah.
hear you on that. I hear you. But my thing is too is like you can be grown and still be sexy, like Kodakumi, because she can do both.
Right.
Even though she probably does more sexy than she does cute, but she can do cute and it still be, age appropriate for her. I mean, she doesn't have to like infantize herself,
No, it's true.
to appeal to people. And I mean, I guess I kind of I don't see that happening in K-pop from the women or the men. Like they can't, just be cute without forcing it or having to like, oh, I'm like 30, but let me pretend like I'm in high school. It's like
Yeah.
I just,
You know what?
I can't get that.
It kind of
I'm like-
reminds me of. Oh, sorry. Hon.
I mean, so I want to see kind of more like grown-ups being like they have their moments where they can be cute, but it not
Right.
come off as a total cringe fest.
Cough, cough. Pentagon. Pentagon. Shout
You know,
out
I
to Elon.
still can't
Or
remember
is
any of
it
their songs.
Octagon now?
You know
Oh my
what?
gosh, are
It's
you?
Octagon.
We need to
Pentagon.
educate you on Pentagon. We need to educate you on those pops that they got.
Shine, right?
Yeah.
Yes,
Okay.
Shine. Can you feel it? Critical Beauty.
Can
Yes,
we just
yeah, I guess
show
might as well
that shine? Like,
Why
so
don't we
she
just
can
do
understand?
Do we want
1
to?
week of like? Why don't we just do like one podcast, whatever, and just like all the videos are Pentagon. We could do a Pentagon like viewing. I mean, how many
Hopefully that
music
can
videos do they
resurrect
have?
their career.
I mean, we can add
serious.
a Pentagon video. We never did Shine, by the way.
You know what? We gotta do it. I'm just saying.
Well,
I
we need to do
can
an EXO one. I need to
Mandatory.
throw. We need to do an EXO one. We need to do a whole Nugu like pod. We need to make that happen. If you want me to get the videos, I got you. Y'all wigs will be snapped.
Honestly, I
These
want to do a
Nugus are gonna
shiny
be
day
coming.
because no one appreciates shiny.
Everybody
Oh
appreciates Shiny.
please, everybody.
Yes.
Even
How can you
Everybody
not?
appreciates Shiny.
even the non-fans. Yeah,
Yeah.
I may or may not be one of them, but you know, Shiny does once in a while. So, yes.
Yeah, well, let's watch another video because I feel like all that we can do really is say how bad that music video was for that song. Like,
Okay.
I saw a video of them performing Red Flavor from last year, and Irene completely forgot the choreography in the middle of the song. And she was just standing there like,
What?
I don't know what to do. And I was like, I feel like there was more personality from Irene in that moment than I've ever seen on stage. She's like
Yeah,
dead in the
I've never
eyes.
seen Irene show personality ever. Like,
She's dead in the eyes all the time.
And see, this is why I'm a second gen supremacist, because if that had been any of our second gen girls, if that had been any of our second gen boys, they would have just winged it.
Yep.
I saw G Dragon perform. He would have just like, okay, I forgot the choreography. I'm gonna make up some choreography, and y'all gonna like it.
T.O.P. always forgets choreography.
yeah, he
He's
wouldn't
just like,
even do the choreography half the time. He would just be back there two-stepping. I mean,
okay.
That's so true. That is so true. But then you have Taeyang over here doing a full like Circus du Soleil kind of. I guess they're trying to give us
Flips and
everything.
stuff
They
in
give,
the
yeah, they're
corner.
giving us a little bit of everything.
And everybody else is just jumping up and down, singing along.
We just described a Big Bang concert.
Best money I ever spent was going to a Big Bang concert. I'll say that much.
Oh, goodness.
All right.
Well, let's do
Last-
Icon first, no?
Well, we can go ahead and just skip the last two. I think that's about.
No, we
I want to
all
watch
other
the Icon
videos.
video.
No,
I don't know what
yes.
the other one is, but I want to
Yes.
watch Icon.
Icon.
Thank you.
Bi is cute. Isn't that how you say it? Bi, or is it B like B Rain or?
It's
Yeah,
B.I.
I don't know.
Okay.
I don't.
Sorry.
I don't mess with Icon, so
You know, I
That's okay. You
used
can
to think that I didn't.
love 'em.
So this is like Love Scenario Part
This
2,
is
pretty
the
much.
jam.
Yep.
the opening is dope. I'll give them that. It's where this comes in, where you just lose me. Like this.
It's Bobby though. I think he's just kind of boring.
So are we saying we need to eat on Bobby?
No, no, we do not.
No, we need people. We need him to be there to write their music. So like, we'll keep Bobby around.
We're keeping all of them. They did not go through mix and match to be cut again. Okay, they all stay.
I wonder though. At the end of the year, are they going to win the SOTY like Song of the Year for digital? Because I think theirs is still like the top. I love this part. I don't know why I love this part. It's just like
They lose me. It feels too Big Bang.
oh yeah, for sure.
Not that that's a bad thing.
No.
I just mean it's not their identity, I think.
I think Icon and Winner are both becoming more and more like Big Bang with time. Like they started off like kind of having a uniqueness, and it's just like this is Bi, right?
Yeah, because I
Yes.
know that voice anywhere.
I like his flow.
I love his voice. When he
Yeah.
was on Love Scenario, I was like, ow!
So I'll admit, when I first saw this video, I was like, the big guy was cute, and then I found out he was the Macne, and I had to back way off. This guy. I was like, this guy's cute. And then I checked out his age, and I was like, whoa, let's bring it back a little bit. Still the cutest guy in this group.
Yeah, he's pretty visual. He looks like Christian Yu.
I don't know who that is.
Random IG
Good.
that. Yeah.
We're not missing anything, trust me.
I mean, I'm a Google, but yeah, I don't know who that is. I don't know. The song was just like doing a lot of things for me. But Love Scenario is definitely the superior song.
Scenario is there,
Yeah.
That's their MO to me at this point.
Still trying to figure out what this song is.
You know what? At least they have fun on stage. Blackpink's not even really allowed to do that. So
because they're
allowed
girls.
on the stage.
Yep.
They're not even allowed on the stage.
Not a bad song.
I mean, they're not. I mean, we had a whole big discussion about them being locked in the basement, and when they finally get on stage, they're like deer in headlights. So, I mean, I feel bad. I feel bad for them in that aspect because too, they were like crying on Beeline or whatever it is, saying that they want to perform. So I'm not gonna hold that.
Okay, so
that was not a bad song, but justice for Dia because I still Dia.
superior. Okay.
You think Dia was the best song out of the ones we
Actually, I'm just gonna go ahead and make the claim. Dia's the best song of the night. I don't even have to listen to this next one to know that. So
well, we already know where the next one's heading.
This next one isn't really a song per se.
But you know what? I consider their comeback trailers or whatever their intros in their whole like grand scheme of things, because Nat was like earlier, like, oh, this is the only intro that I like. I'm sorry, but Serendipity and Singularity are superior. Those are the best intro. That's probably the best songs BTS have ever done. Like,
I don't like their voices.
I can't argue, but but I have to admit, when I hear a Boppington and Singularity, that beat. And I actually do like Taehyung's voice. Jimin, me and Jimin, our relationship is a little bit confusing right now. But I just like the actual like the beat of the song, like the production of it. Do you hear what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. I see what you mean.
Like it's just so good, and it's what gets you into the song.
Yeah, no, I can totally see that. But I don't know. I just felt more. I think BTS is always trying to make people feel things like emotionally with their music, but this is the first time I actually did. So that's why for me I was like, oh, Jin? Really?
You know what?
But sure.
I kind of agree with that because this is the first time that I felt the visual to the intro was effective. Because when it's just like, never mind. We'll see. Everyone is, we'll see.
All right. So this next one is not AMV. This is actually the Love Yourself Answer Epiphany comeback trailer, which I have not seen as of yet. So apparently this is some crazy mess that I have not seen.
Not gonna lie, this is iconic.
All right.
This really fits Jin's aesthetic, like 100%.
All right, we're sitting in a apartment all by ourselves.
And his voice just sounds good to me.
No, bro. I mean, it's iconic. But this is probably the best I've ever heard him sound, though, honestly.
Yeah.
Like some of his best vocals.
Well, I'm happy he's shown up.
We're lonely. We're unhappy.
What's really crazy is that BTS will have lyrics like this to their intros, and then when they release the title track, it's like nothing near the level of depth. Like it's not introspective. It's not like it's none of those things. It's like he's saying like I'm the one I should love, but like
I choose me kind of thing, right?
But if you hear like DNA or fake love, it's like, how did you go from the message you're trying to send to what you are giving?
They gotta appeal to the fans.
Out in the rain.
That's love songs. That's love songs.
I know. I listened to it first, and I was like, "Oh, this is really cute." And I listened to it with the captions, and I was like, "Oh, this is a love song to myself." I mean, I can definitely get behind that.
Right?
Like,
you don't love yourself enough to get an umbrella.
No, I skip this part. This part in the rain, I just skip it. Like, what's the point? And his hair is really ugly. So
yeah, that's not a great color.
Nice, but
he's done standing outside in the rain for 5 minutes.
Yeah, I didn't really understand the significance of that. I was like, what did he learn?
Nothing.
He's like, I just went outside to stand in the rain for a bit.
Yeah.
He learned to love himself in the rain. That's what he learned.
Is Jin the best vocal in BTS? That's not my opinion. That's a question.
Ooh,
I like
Jungkook.
I like Jungkook's voice. I like his voice the best. But also, like, none of them are what I would really consider, like, even main or lead vocals in, like, other groups. They just...
Yeah, their vocals aren't that strong, right?
No. And that's why I don't understand all these, like, solo, like soul-crunching songs. I'm like, I don't think this is in your range, for the most part.
I mean, they started out as more of a hip-hop oriented group, so...
Exactly.
You know, I didn't realize that Jungkook actually rapped until I accidentally watched the No More Dream video.
I just found out now today.
Way back to the debut.
Because I tried very hard not to watch the music videos from the early days. Like I'll listen to the songs if I have to, but I try very hard not to watch the videos. See this?
Was it just me or did he grab a hat?
Yeah, he learned to love himself. Now he's going outside with a jacket and like a book or something.
So he's not just letting himself get rained on.
Yeah,
I still didn't understand this.
I did. This is the first time I've seen this.
Okay. Oh, okay.
He was remembering his friends because that's what the whole theory is.
Okay.
I know there was a bunch of theory videos. You know how BTS fans do. There's a bunch of theory videos on.
I'm sure there. I searched this up, and there was already like 50 like theory videos like underneath it, so it's fine.
Jin looks like in this like frame right here, this like shot, he looks like somebody's like grandpa. Like
It's the pants.
It's like the pants. Those grandparent stockings. You know what I'm talking about? Oh
my God.
You know why this doesn't work for me? He's wearing shoes in his house. I just don't buy that. I don't buy that at all.
They're trying to be relatable. You know, yeah.
I got it. Okay, well, he's also depressed, so maybe that's it.
I mean, we all know they don't wear shoes in their
someone houses. Had my friend got me those flowers for my college graduation.
Oh,
Oh,
sweet.
that's nice.
She's trying to make you time travel with her. Aw.
So okay, wait, Jay. Jay, I do want to know how this fits in with fake love. What's the conspiracy on that? Like, is this did he time travel here? Is that why he looks like someone's grandfather? Is that
I don't
the reason?
know. I'm gonna wait for like all the theories because I can't keep like when a new video comes out and then it's gonna be like the 50 theory threads and then they're trying to piece everything together. So I like wait until like the whole air is over with, so then I can like watch one video that ties everything all together for me instead of having to play detective because I don't have the time. But I know the fans do, so I let them do the work, and then I just go through and look at all and be like, okay, that makes sense, or like, I'm not so sure about that. So, but right now, I don't know. Maybe I don't know. But those flowers are tied to his power, but they're just sitting there, so I don't know. Maybe,
Interesting.
I don't know.
So are we gonna talk about the teaser photos for this thing now, or we're gonna wait to talk about
I think we should
We
wait.
can talk about them later if you like.
Okay.
I can
Yeah.
give them a topic. So, but yeah, this little teaser video that was interesting. I'm actually wondering what the heck this is all about. So good job,
But
BTS.
you know what? That's the crazy thing about BTS. I am not a BTS fan. I have to preface everything with that because I feel like I sound like one sometimes. They're not very rarely, because I'm very critical of everything just because that's how I am, right? But one thing that I really, really, really like about them is the fact that I am interested in their videos. Not necessarily to the point where I'm going to read 50 theory threads, but it's like got a good story. Like it's something that is very rare in K-pop, actually. Usually in K-pop, what they do is they give you like 5 different costume changes, and then you get 3 different sets, and then you do the same dance moves in those different sets, in those different costumes.
Yep.
But a lot of times BTS has like an actual story that you can follow that is engaging in addition to the actual music.
Well, that's the thing too, right? Like they used to do more videos with like storylines, and I feel like nowadays we don't really see that. Yes, is the only one that's doing like the ongoing storyline sort of thing, and I don't know if they planned it that way, but it's they're really the only one that's like doing anything like that right now, other than maybe some of the smaller groups or the indie bands or whatever, like Day 6 or whatever. But
yeah,
no one else is doing that.
No, see, that's the thing. Like we were talking about Dia before, and like their video and stuff. Their company actually used to do like huge, probably like 1,000,001 like music videos with stories like about the Japanese occupation and like all this stuff. Where there was like usually 2 music videos, and they had like this continuous story with like their songs or soundtracks. And why don't they do that with Dia? Why don't they like just continue the formula? Because it clearly worked. They had like a top group in Tiara. Like why are they not continuing this sort of cycle instead of giving us like a video that looked like it was directed by somebody that they found off the internet, like on Twitter or something,
I recorded that on my iPhone, so
yeah, exactly.
But so go ahead.
Oh no, sorry. I was gonna say like my thing with BTS is that I think that it's all fake deep.
Yeah, no, I agree.
I mean, it's not like
it's not like I'm sitting up here getting like, Kendrick Lamar teas or like J. Cole tell me a story type teas. It's definitely fake deep. I just think that it's more effort than what their peers are putting in for the most part.
Okay. Then I would agree with that then for sure.
Yeah. It's more than
Jay.
Okay. But like with Tira, well, during that time, their company also produced dramas, so that's like why their music videos were like that, as opposed to now. I don't know if since the company changed names and all that restructuring happened. I don't know if they're making dramas. I don't know if they have the budget that they used to, because Tira was, a high level group, so they were bringing in money, and they used that money to make those very wonderful Michael Jackson inspired long music videos for us to enjoy
Mhm.
and to scream over. Nowadays, we got what we got with Dia, and so we kind of just have to take it. It's a different time now
Mhm.
than what it
Mhm.
was. I do miss those types of music videos from uh K-pop. I mean, I think now
Yeah.
everybody is trying to make a think piece, whether it works or not. And
Mhm.
some other groups tried this whole theory connected story, and it just fell flat. And then they kind of ignored it and went
Right.
back to doing the dancing in the boxes and whatnot, because that's what works for the most part for K-pop.
Mhm.
And BTS just hit a stride with it.
Right.
They were at the right place at the right time, so it worked for them as opposed to some of these other groups that try. Um, and I think too that I saw on Twitter is that like they plan like this whole story thing out like years ago, like I think like 3 years ago. After No happened, after No, that's when they were like they started doing all this theory stuff. That's what I feel, anyways, because
Mhm.
that was the comeback that determined whether BTS would still exist or not. After No happened, they were like, "Look, either y'all getting cut or y'all gonna keep going." And so I
Mhm.
guess they just had this big old meeting where we're like, fan theories, and we're gonna do this and reference this and all this stuff,
Smart.
and it
Yeah.
worked. So
I think
yeah,
with all the roasting that's been happening with Dia tonight, for me, it's gonna have to be Woo Woo. It's gonna have to be Fave Orit as well as Juketa
yes.
and Epiphany. The rest of them are, what they are.
I totally forgot about the rest of them already.
See?
Like I was like, wait, we watch other videos than those? Okay.
Give a credit for you. I forgive you for forgetting. Okay. Well, as fun as the videos were, we have to move on to the podcast part. And it's probably good that we don't have a whole lot to talk about tonight since we don't want to be here way into the morning. So before going into things, I do want to do like a brief overview of what I have like on listed as like a topic. So I have Sunye from Wonder Girls, obviously. I have, if you guys want to talk about it a little bit, CL, her weight gain. If you guys feel like you can talk about it in a way that you feel comfortable.
I'm not like Edward, so okay, we got it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Got it.
What? I missed that whole change.
Edward talked about Kayla. Was that her name? Kyla? This girl from Pristine.
Oh,
She's like
the chubby
15,
one,
and then
whatever.
he got on
Yeah, and
YouTube and
she-
suddenly was an expert on like a woman's body when he's not one, and all
Yeah.
this other mess. So
Didn't her
So
we're not
brother
gonna
like
do
come for
that.
him too? Like
Mhm.
after that, her brother came online and was like,
Yeah,
he
it
was
a mess.
yeah. And then
yeah.
is she still in Pristine? Is she on a hiatus?
She's on a
Yeah, she's still-
hiatus, and she's
Oh,
still
okay.
on one. Yeah.
Wow.
I heard. Well, I saw on Twitter that she was in at the KCON, but I don't think she performed. But I mean, again,
Oh,
I don't
no.
know. I don't know. I don't know for sure if she's really there or not because I wasn't there. And I was like, "This is Twitter," so they could be lying. But that's just what I
Yeah,
saw.
there were
So-
people that thought they saw Edon at KCON, and that turned out to be a fake. So
That's impossible for them to see Edon when he's in Cube's dungeon, rotting away, committing the
They-
cardinal sin. Oh, I can't talk about that. Sorry, I'm just so excited.
that's good.
he is ready.
Yes.
BTS, and then obviously the main course, the whole Hyuna Edon Saga.
Bring out the full
That
tea
whole
set for
whole
that.
thing. So that is going to be the majority of what we are going to be talking about. If we have time, we can talk about maybe some of the like music videos that we things about that we didn't get to before, like Luna and whatnot. But obviously, it's mainly Hyuna and Idan for this episode. So I'm glad you guys have things to say about it. So right. All right, so I will do my usual countdown, and you guys get yourselves
Do I sound
ready.
alright?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, making sure.
Good.
Everybody sounds good so far.
Okay.
All right. So I'll do a 5, 4, 3, 2, and a 1. Hey everybody! Thanks for joining us for another episode of Not Your Average Netizens. This is Ash, and I'm joined by another lovely panel of podcasters. Today I have with me Nat,
Hey.
Jay,
Hello, everyone.
and Jimin.
Goo goo ga butterfly.
Yes.
She is making herself known. Thank you for that. I'm very I like that. That's something different. Thank you. Yes, so this is that's our podcasters for today's episode, and we will get started. Have got some interesting things going on in the world of K-pop to talk about. First of all, something I'm particularly excited about as a longtime wonderful.
Yeah.
It turns out that the original leader of the Wonder Girls, Sunye, is going to make a return to music. She is signed with Polaris Entertainment, which is the home of Ladies Code and some other groups and artists. But she is signed with Polaris, and she has also appeared and unmasked herself on King of Mask Singer. And it looks like she has decided to sign with them and make her re-debut. And according to Polaris, it said that they've come to a positive agreement to work together. According to Polaris, there are no specific promotion plans that have been set up yet. Please send your warm gazes and cheers towards Sunye, who is hoping to embark on the 3rd chapter of her life after spending 5 years as a mother of 2 and a wife of a happy family. And then finally, Polaris added, "We are thankful towards Sunye for making a difficult decision. We hope to be like family for her, whom she can rely on through the tough and difficult times." Now, one thing I want to say that I have not understood from the moment she made the first announcement that she was getting married as a Wonder Girl, or when she was part of the Wonder Girls. For some reason, people or K-netizens have this huge hate boner toward her because they feel like she neglected the Wonder Girls because she dared to get married at 24 and have children and decided to become a missionary, which is a whole other deal, you know, whatever her religious affiliation, that's a whole other issue. And I don't understand why this is seen as some huge betrayal, her wanting to get married and have a child at 24, especially since in general in Korean culture, a lot of them stay with their families until they do get married. And so for her, if she does it, then all of a sudden it's a horrible thing for the Wonder Girls as a group. They did absolutely fine. They did fine without Sunye. They got their first perfect all kill as a band without Sunye. They wouldn't have been able to have their band phase without Sunye. And Sunye supported them from where she was, you know, the entire time. And I'm sorry, I just feel a certain way is so wonderful because I feel like she didn't do anything wrong. And I don't understand why there are so many people that dog on her for getting married and having children. And now that she's coming back, there just seems like there's a concerted effort against her. Or there's a group of people that are like, Sunye, oh, she's needing money. Or she's, you know, she's hard up for cash. So she's coming back as a singer. And that's the reason why she's doing it. You know, whether it is or she isn't, you know, I feel like I don't understand the vitriol like for her. But that's just my opinion toward the matter. How do the rest of you all feel? I'm sorry.
Okay. I know it's okay. I was I talking about flashback because seeing that in real time, and I looking back at it now, I think part of why people were so upset was because she was the leader of the group, and that's like a coveted position if there is one in whatever K-pop group exists. Even if they really don't do anything, because sometimes they actually have like a role to like lead, but other times it's just a title. But I think with the Wonder Girls that she, you know, really was like a support system for the other members, and so it's as like their mother, you know, to the other girls. And like their role models. That's like part of their job as idols, is that they're role models. And so in Asian culture, they have this whole big thing about like respect and paying your dues and all that. So for her to make a personal decision to leave the group and start a family, they may have seen that as selfish. Like she was putting herself first instead of the group. I'm kind of like, she got a life she wants to live, so let her do it. but if you look at it through the lens of like their culture, it could be seen like she betrayed him. But I mean, I'm just like, look, she wants to get married. She wants to, you know, I was like, okay, she wants to go, then she wants to go, and you know, she wants to live her life. I mean, JYP wasn't trying to like block her or keep her in the group from happening, and then they still went on without her. And then she wasn't like she wasn't a wife or like a mother and all that. And then 2 weeks later, she was like up on stage singing, because that could have looked a certain way if she did that. But I mean, she just wanted to live her life. And I think too that she was one of the longest trainings in JYP before the Wonder Girls debuted. So she had spent, you know, most of her teens already in a group, and like, you know, she wanted to do more or wanted to do something else with her life, and then she did. Um, when she left, I really wasn't sure. Like I was like, oh, so she might come back, yay! But after like the second year, I was like, she's not coming back. Okay, this is real. I had hope. I was like, she's gonna come back, and everything's gonna be fine. And I was so wrong. And I was like, okay, so this is for real because now they're having to come back without her. And I mean, I just left it at that. I mean, it was surprising to see her name come up again because like now it's a whole new generation in K-pop, and they really don't talk about anybody from the second generation at all. So to see her name come up was a surprise to me. And then I was like, okay, so she wants to, I guess pick up where she, had paused things. Music's still, a part of her life, and she wants to go at it again. I mean, I'm pretty sure her kids are a little bit old enough now, so like she had, she has. I guess she can divide her time up to, go work and take care of them. And she has her husband to help with that and whoever else. So I mean, she just wants to get back into things. So why not let her? Yeah, yeah, that's all I say.
Yeah.
No, I agree. I was not really into the Wonder Girls. Like I liked some of their songs, but I wasn't really as into them then than I was when they became a band and they dropped Reboot, because I mean Reboot was everything. But I remember people just being mad because she had re-signed with JYP. So people were like, why would you even re-sign if you knew you were gonna like go off and do missionary work, like with this person that you were gonna marry, and likely you guys are gonna start having kids. Because I mean that's what you do, especially when you're like in specific religions and you get married. It was so I guess a lot of people felt like she kind of misled them in a way, or like she kind of held them back because she's like, I'm gonna resign my contract with JP, but I'm gonna peace out. I'll see you guys later. I I am really happy to see Sunny back. I mean, screw everybody who has like really bad things to say about her based on these circumstances. Not really. I don't really trust a lot of missionaries, so I mean, I'm gonna leave that on its own, like it's its own little thing. But in terms of her being back in Korea and having a career, like she's clearly super talented. People like seeing her and they like seeing her as a mom and they like seeing her family. And I think it's normal. I think it's one of those things where it's really normal to see people in K-pop who can still have normal things and normal lives. Because like a lot of the first gen groups, like if they get married, they usually just disappear. That's why a lot of times when you see like, especially the guys from like Shinhwa, Sesh Keys or whatever, and HOT, like a lot of them were single, like they're not really dating. They still kind of like hold on to like a lot of these tenets of being an idol. Like if I get married, I'm gonna lose my fan base. We saw that happen with HOT. What's his name when he married the girl from that group? What's that group called
Brown
that had the
Pop.
Bar 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 song?
Brown Pop.
Yeah, them. But it's
Sorry. They had a few bombs.
okay. But like, I think it's good. I think people are fighting it because they still want to have the fantasy of these idols. And I think that is more what they're holding on to than anything else because they want their idols to be single. They want their idols to be available.
And they're
And
not available to them.
Which is, we'll go into that more later on in this episode.
Yeah.
Exactly. I mean, like it's gonna tie into other things later, but like she's 29. Like she has two kids and a husband. She's doing things that normal people do, but she still wants to have a career. Why are you so angry about it? Like, get over yourself. Just understand that idols are like everybody else, and just like I don't really get the whole like dating, and I'm putting them in quotes. You can't see me, but I'm putting that in quotes. Dating scandals and like all this BS. I just don't get it because I feel like it's just selfish people being selfish and being petty and being angry because, you know, in order to be an idol, it's all about sacrifice to people. I think a lot of fans look at it as a sacrifice and as something sort of like removed from everyday lives. Like, you know, my favorite idol is on stage all the time, but I can go and, you know, like eat pizza at like 10 o'clock at night, you know, like I don't have to diet, you know. So I think
Or
it's
be
like
stalked.
pettiness. Yeah, like but
Or
it's weird.
dispatch
Like
of like, oh,
people,
she got a pepperoni pizza. That's why
yeah,
she
like
can't
but
see.
like it stems from jealousy. It just stems from like jealousy too, right? It's so really
Yes.
like it's so strange like that she can't be like, well, I mean, she's such a
She can't have
great
both.
she's a great vocalist. I read
Mhm.
somewhere that like Wonder Girls was created around her. So I mean like she always had sort of like the star persona. Like she was always somebody who was going to be someone. So like just
Yes.
get on the train or get off the train. Like, like that's how I look at it.
Yes.
Anybody else?
Yeah. No other thoughts? Okay. Well,
Not just spoke the truth. I mean, she did. She
yeah.
did.
I mean, yeah, speak the truth. Yeah.
Know.
I mean, as far as I'm concerned, it's gonna happen. Hopefully, there'll be more people than not that's and bring her into the fold, and you know, whatever she decides to do. I personally think she'll probably go toward more of the OST ballad kind of singing like song route, but I could be wrong.
She's gonna level up like Sierra. She's gonna like, I'm a mom, I got kids, I'm a wife, and I'm still gonna do the thing.
It'll be better for her though, because it's tied to the OST. It's tied to the drama at least, so she's not the face of it. She's just the voice. So I think that will work really well for her from a marketing standpoint.
I mean, she could flip it around and decide that she wants to become like a Lee Fiore and
yeah,
you know, decide to, and you know, more power to her. I mean,
I would live for that. That would get them
me too.
So
that's like
I
Nami
mean,
Amuro. That's like it would be a repeat of all that. You know, oh my gosh, she's a mom. How dare she have a job and perform? And she's like, LOL, #1 album.
I mean,
like,
that would be awesome. So
yes.
I hate her. I still hate her, but I'm going to stream the song all day. Yes. Please do.
So, you know, we'll see. Another person who has been at the top of I guess topics among I guess as far as Korean celebrities lately has been CL. Recently CL was there were pictures taken of her walking around I don't know if it was LA, but it was somewhere in America, and she was wearing like a baggy t-shirt and baggy jeans. And there were pictures taken of her, and they were obviously automatically uploaded online. And, you know, there were a lot of headlines with yeah, there was a lot of headlines and such with, you know, CL has gained weight, and yes, CL looked like she had gotten was a little bigger than maybe her skinniest weight in 2NE1. I don't know. She was wearing a big t-shirt and baggy jeans. So kind of the default assumption was that she had gained some weight. However, she not long after that she had done a concert for I think it was a video game convention or something of a video game. What do you call it?
Esports.
Esports, yes, it was an esports thing.
Ooh,
And she
I'm sorry. They're popular. That's why I said that. They're like really popular.
it was an esports thing, and she had performed at that, and she also had done a bunch of pictures on a red carpet for I think an American movie. I think it's called 22 Mile. I apologize if the movie is called something else. It's something Mile.
I think it is 22 Mile with Mark Wahlberg. I think that's what it is called.
Okay. And she looks great in the pictures. And yes, she does, like I said, she does not look as skinny as her skinniest in 21, but she looks absolutely fine. But those initial pictures that were taken of her were posted everywhere, and people were kind of freaking out about them. And people were kind of going to like the worst possible like assumption. It was like, oh, she's eating and she's stressed because of YG, and she's having a tough time in America, and all of this. And not long after that, there was I don't know where it was from. I'm not sure who gave that the who gave this answer that was saying that CL was actually meeting with YG, and that not to worry about her health or anything, that she was meeting with YG, and that it was just a little stress over her moving to America and being in America, and to not worry about it. But that kind of was the announcement after the pictures came out, and that was kind of it. I think she looks fine. I mean, she's obviously not idol skinny, quote unquote, but she looks healthy. She doesn't look unhappy, and she's in a movie, which is something. So I'm glad about that, at the very least. What about anyone else?
I feel like it's like a really touchy, sort of uncomfortable subject, because if CL says she's fine, she's fine. But I mean, we also know that she's going through some things, so you kind of don't want to be like, oh, she, blaming YGE, the disbandments and all this, and like her failure pretty much in her US debut. I don't want to blame those things, but I mean, like, for anybody, I think it would be a huge issue. And I think it could lead to, like, if I had to go through all that stuff, I probably would be depressed. And I probably be eating a lot of food that's probably like not that great for me. But I don't know CL, and I don't know what she's going through, and if she says she's fine, because like you did mention that there were like media reports saying that she was fine and that it was like the move to the States, but I haven't really seen anything from CL herself. So I don't want to get into like borderline, fat shaming or anything like that. I mean, she has gained weight. It is outside of the norm of K-pop. Is she really in K-pop anymore? I don't know. So I'm gonna just wait for CL to say something. She did perform in like Taiwan or Hong Kong or something like that, and she looked great. She was feeling herself. She was feeling herself while she was taking those photos. She seems like she's in a good place. So it's kind of hard, because mental health and mental illness is like still sort of like taboo in Korea. And so it might be something that, she might not want to talk about, or maybe it's not even relevant. It's really hard to kind of have an opinion on this, It's just like, I feel like the only thing that I can say is that, stupid fans or stupid, K-nets and I-nets and whatever, like, they can all go to hell if they are out here like fat shaming her. But I don't know. I don't know if is she a victim? Is she like just chilling and living good and that's why she gained weight? Like, I don't know. So it is kind of hard.
I
Sorry?
argue that CL has surpassed the title of idol.
Yeah, and that's the thing, right?
Korean sense, because like in Korea, there's a very stark difference between idol and artist, and I feel like CL is kind of looked at as more of an artist, like versus and obviously if you're an idol, you're an artist, but you can be an idol. Oh, at the same time though, you can be an idol and not really an artist. Like,
yeah,
you can be an idol whose only role is to be visual, and you really don't have any vocal talent. You really, or anything like that. I feel like Seal is looked at as like a true artist. A lot of Big Bang, Big Bang, a lot of YG like that though. They're looked at as like true artists versus idols, and I wonder how that affects this conversation, because of course there's an idol standard, and she has that idol background, and then there's like a standard that I feel like that's different from what Korea expects from artists. Does that make sense? Like,
yeah,
like a good example is the whole Hyodin situation, when they're talking about how she performs or whatever. Basically they were saying, well, she's not a Beyonce. Why is she, dancing like that? It's like they separate certain groups of people, and then depending on which funnel you fall into, and this even goes into the dating thing, it's like you get more freedom with your image and how you look and how you behave and what kind of music you make even. So I don't know. I think like you said, it's a touchy subject. I definitely think people are overreacting in terms of shaming her for her body. I think that's never the answer when somebody, especially if somebody could have a mental health issue behind it. I think it's always best to just figure out what's going on and then go from there. But it's just interesting to see how this is playing out, in terms of like how K-nets see it overwhelmingly, because a lot of the comments that I saw shaming her were actually from Korean people, like actually saying, oh, I saw some people say, oh, she looks American style now, like, because apparently in America I guess everybody's considered chubby or something like that. I don't know. I just was like, is it really that deep? Like, I feel like it's not like, I feel like they act like she's, one cheeseburger away from her deathbed or something, like, when in a lot of cases, a lot of these are like one missed meal away from a deathbed, if we're being honest, in terms of the way the body standards are and things like that. So yeah, it's a touchy issue. I hope she's okay. I mean, I don't think anything's wrong with the way she looks personally, but if this is a result of some greater issue, I hope that issue gets fixed. Um, yeah, that's what I have to say about that.
Oh my gosh. My thing is, why of all things to talk about CL, we see a picture of her and everybody is all like talking about her weight, but most of the time, if if she was a guy, would it even come up? Would people even say anything about it? Most likely, I feel most likely not, unless like you were shirtless and you're like, oh, look at that body. So I'm like, okay.
I agree there.
So
I think that, okay, like,
I saw the pictures and I was just like, okay, so I mean, I was like, for what I know, she's not really working, and okay, I mean, okay, like
I,
they haven't seen nobody look like that before, like but then there was all like this, like, oh, she's depressed and all this and that. And then I was like, I mean, I can't say one way or the other. It's not my place.
Right.
Only she knows that, or whoever she's talking to, maybe they know. But I mean, I just left it at that. So like when there was all like, oh, she let herself go, she's this and she's that, I was just like, this was just all being extra. And then she proved that she, she showed up and she was like, y'all all thought wrong. And two, it's like the timing, because I mean, I really don't know when those pictures were taken. I mean, that could have been anytime really in my timeline, because I mean, I'm not really following CL, so I don't know when those pictures were taken, and they just threw them out there now to, I don't know, to like have a certain narrative about her. I don't know, but I mean, I really was just, I saw the pictures and I just kind of went about my life. I really didn't say anything about it because I was like, that's not the first time that I've seen somebody look like that, or whether they're this weight or this weight. I mean, I don't know what's going on. People's weight fluctuates for a whole bunch of different reasons. I wasn't trying to get into figuring out why. I guess because I mean, I guess I didn't care enough to like get all into that, and it's I was just like whatever. And then like she went to that premiere, and then she was like, gotcha. I just left it at
I
that.
don't really follow CL either. I mean, obviously, I always hope that people's mental health situations are okay, regardless of who I follow. But on the point about like if she was a guy, would it be the same thing? While I can see that point in many different aspects, particularly, let's say if you're talking about comparing when people, for example, when Rihanna gained weight, right, versus I don't know DJ Khaled and Rick Ross, and like all,
Mm-hmm.
Shindog
but yeah,
from Suju.
exactly. But I think that it's interesting that you brought that up because one thing that's really interesting that I've noticed with hip hop in particular is that I think that sometimes when it comes to weight, a lot of times it's not necessarily discriminatory, just more so biased towards women. I've noticed that besides Shindong, besides him, a lot of male idols also kind of get that some sort of pressure about their weight. Like
Yeah.
Yeah.
examples that immediately come to mind, Taehyung from BTS and also June from BTS. They both had gotten Taehyung more recently, people saying he's getting bigger. And then in the past, Jimin was basically mocked as the fat one of BTS. They called him like a pig and all of those things. So I don't know if it's gendered as it is in the West. I mean, it's definitely gendered. I just don't know if it's that. I think that it's more so everybody has to fit a particular look.
So okay. Yeah. So like
Yeah.
yeah. I will say like in the when I was K-pop that I like the issue of weight is more kind of evenly spread as opposed to here in the West. Because I'm not gonna ignore and say like, no, none of the guys have ever had weight issues when I literally thought of like three right off the bat
Mhm.
that I've like seen that I was like, oh, are you okay? Are you okay? Like I'm worried.
I mean,
And so
we talk about like not in that way, but like that we discuss, you know what I mean, on here that
mhm,
people have joke about them because they're underweight. They say things, and I know we all know the different jokes because they're underweight, for example. Um,
mhm.
and I just like I remember one time they said that Wanu from 17 was a 2D figure because honestly he was standing there and I just like his body was so lean that it just people really thought that like is this a cardboard like those life size cardboard cutouts. Um,
Mhm.
so like, but to them it was more so of a joke. Obviously, it doesn't matter if you're underweight or overweight. It's not a joke to pick on somebody because of something that they probably can't control, especially with like
Mhm.
these enforced diets and eating a certain way, and then the stress of being an idol and eating because you're stressed, and just all those things that go into it. So yeah, like it's just really interesting to me. Like it's not interesting that in a good way, but just like weird that people are so concerned about what other people are doing with their bodies. Like it's not your body. Why do you care?
Mhm. I agree.
Like I
Yep.
mean, I don't know. I mean, especially since it seems like a lot of people are saying this, like Y'all probably don't even like CL anyway. Y'all just want to say something like, I don't know, just
Okay, well, I think we're done with the CL issue.
Yes.
um, it's a bit of a controversial issue, but I think we can at least say that CL is projecting her best self out into the public right now. So I give her props for that. The next thing that I want to get to is the main thing that I think we all want to get to right now. What I think I'll do is I'll sing from the very beginning. And because I have notes.
You need notes because all the back and forth between Cube and like the media.
It is ridiculous. It is very ridiculous. It is just, it's okay.
Cube is struggling. They
Cube,
ass.
and we were praising them just the week before last, and it's disappointing. It's so disappointing.
like Timmy and said,
okay.
Ready, call me. I'm so
it's so disappointing. So this all started when Cube had to confirm that Pentagon's Hui, I hope I'm saying it right, from Pentagon, and Idol's Sujin used to date, but they said that they broke up. So Pentagon's Hui and Idol Sujin used to date, but they broke up. That was the story from Cube. So that was what was going around because Sasaeng's and eagle-eyed fans had found pictures of both of them kind of close together, walking together, and were kind of spreading rumors that they were dating, which it kind of forced Cube to say that yes, they were dating, but not anymore. So that is what started. Then what ended up happening was we had Hannah and Edon. So rumors start swirling that Hannah and Edon were dating. So first, Cube Entertainment denied that Hannah and Edon were dating. But then, after Cube released a statement saying that they were not dating, the next day, Hyuna and Edon confirmed that they were in fact dating and had been for 2 years, which means that they were dating back when Edon was a trainee before Pentagon had even debuted. And Hyuna even wrote an Instagram post about her thoughts concerning everything, and she thanked fans and all of this. And her translated caption basically was, she wrote, "I really wanted to be honest. For the fans who always support me and watch over me, I want to work hard on stage with a happy heart. with nothing to hide as I always have. Thank you. And even though it's really not enough just to say I love you, I have no other way of expressing it. Needless to say, this news sent some fans into a rage. And then after that, Cube started canceling stuff left and right. Cube basically started basically leaving Edon out of everything. They had Japanese fan meets. He was not scheduled to appear at those. They had a fan event. There was an anniversary fan event. He was not to be present at those due to internal issues. Some people said that that was due to the scandal and for their safety. However, for the upcoming KCON in LA, Pentagon was scheduled to appear as 8, and Hui, I'm sorry if I'm saying his name wrong. Hui, I'm not sure how to say his name. And Edon were both not scheduled to appear as part of the group. So, everything is basically a mess. Some fans are giving support to Edon and Hyuna. Some are saying that they're upset because they said that Edon lied and did not say anything to the fans like Hyuna did. There are fans that said that made a petition for Edon to be kicked out of the group. Pentagon, Korean fans even actually made a message for international fans to explain why they were mad. Basically saying that they explained that they were not mad because he's dating Hyuna. They said that they were angry because he didn't tell them about it, unlike Hyuna. And that they are mad that Triple H was created so that they could spend more time together while in front of their fans. And that they believe that there are complicated parts in the K-pop industry that international fans will find hard to understand. It's not that we are falsely thinking that we have a chance to date them or something, or that they are possessions of ours. And that they claim that fans love them for their image, and dating damages their said image. And they want to know if he received consent from other Pentagon members to date Hyuna. So again, this whole thing is pretty much a mess. They recently they appeared at KCON as 8. Edon is pretty much been suspended from all appearances thus far, as has the other guy, I can't say his name right, from Triple H. And there's even been a little bit of a Korean fan versus international fan thing going on as a result of this. What are our thoughts?
Well, as you know, I'm gathering my papers right now so that I can.
She is literally giving us a fresh receipt.
Because I have so many thoughts about this. My thoughts, I have thoughts to every single aspect of this. First and foremost, Cube, the way they handled this was whack. I really, you know what? let me get into Cube being trash in a second. I want to start off by saying I proudly support Edon and Hyuna. And I started off ironically liking Tentagon and ironically supporting Hyuna and Edon because I just thought it was funny that everybody were losing their minds about these two people dating. And I was just like, oh, like, this isn't a problem. I don't really care. They have bops. Like, I'm going to just ironically support them. Now it's come to the point where I feel like, okay, the boy's gonna lose his career over this. I'm not very familiar with Edon. I mean, the extent of my knowledge of Edon is his clearing his throat at the beginning of Shine and proceeding to deliver one of the best bops of 2018 along with his team. However, I just don't have a problem with him. At least I don't know if he's been problematic, this or the other, the real issues. I don't know if that's the case. I just know that this situation and my short time being an ironic fan of Pentagon have collided. And it has just brought to my attention several issues with fans. Number one, it's perfectly fine for people to date. Like we were talking about earlier, you don't own these people. They're human. Being an idol is no different from any other job. Just because you have an image doesn't mean that you can't deviate from that. It's like we all think about it. Even when you go to work, we all somewhat have images. We all have images that we project to the world. We go into the office every Monday. If you go into an office or whatever you do, there's an image you project to the world, and then you have your private life. That's perfectly fine and understandable. So when these K fans and anyone else who has a grievance about this they feel the need to write a master's thesis to other fans about how they're just so unbothered by this. But the least he could have done was told us. I have a hard time believing that. I'm sorry. It's ridiculous. There's no other reason why you would be upset unless you truly thought you had a chance with him, which lets me know that you're delusional in the first place. So I don't even know why we have to have a conversation when you're deluded enough to think that you're going to get with Edon. That's clearly where this is coming from. You're not mad because he didn't tell you what. He doesn't owe you anything. That's the problem with y'all. Y'all are too entitled. Y'all think these boys owe y'all something. They don't owe you anything. They really don't. And it's just ridiculous that they feel the need to, make petitions to try to get him to, to not promote with the group or to get him kicked out of the group, because it's like, this is not affecting you. And if it is affecting you, it's because you're deluded. And I don't use that word loosely. I'm serious. That's an issue that you need to work out on your own if you really are that deep into the fantasy. Because he's here to sell you a fantasy. He's selling you an image. He's selling you something that is not real. You said it yourself. It's an image, meaning it's fake. It's contrived. It's not for you to believe. I mean, I don't really understand the outrage, the fan outrage. And I think it's ridiculous. It's very clear where their hearts are. It's very clear that they're in love with him. It's very clear that it's coming from an irrational place, and they don't want to admit that because they know how that would make them look. And it's ridiculous that they feel the need to. I really don't understand what the point was of writing an open letter to iFans. Like, what do you want me to do with that? Like, girl, I don't understand. I don't know what you want me to do with that, because I can't empathize with that. I think it's ridiculous. Secondly, Cube. Oh my God, Cube. Honestly, Cube is how do you describe Cube? Cube does not deserve Pentagon. They don't deserve Hyuna. They don't deserve B2B. They don't deserve, do they have G-Idol? G-Idol. They don't deserve any of these talented idols, because what they're doing by encouraging these fans, because what they're doing with keeping Edon out of things is encouraging these fans, telling these fans that they have power. What they're doing is they're setting a precedent that other fans can do this and get people to, basically set it up so that people lose their careers because they're doing something as natural and as human as falling in love with another person. And honestly, I hope Hyuna is pregnant. I hope we get to see a little half Edon baby running around. I'm excited for them. I hope I get an invite to the wedding, because I will be there with my gear supporting 100%. And Pentagon will always be 10 for me. So this whole idea, to me, I honestly feel Edon really stands out in Pentagon. I know we joke about him. I know we have our our memes and we say all these things about him, but honestly, Pentagon without Iran is kind of like, it's just, it's not a thing for me. It doesn't make any sense in my head. I don't understand how that could even be successful. But yeah, I fully support this relationship. I fully support Cube shutting down and all of their idols going to maybe, SM, a company that knows how to handle their dating scandals. And I really don't support any of the fans in this. I hope the fans go seek help because that level of delusion, oh, I haven't seen that since, I don't, maybe the 60s. Was the 60s? Alfred Hitchcock had a movie. Yeah, I haven't seen that movie. They need to go figure that out within themselves if they are really irked to the pits of their souls that this man has the nerve to have a woman on his arms that clearly is loving him right. And the members are clearly upset with the way this is all being handled. And one of the members was like crying at KCON on stage, and I doubt he was crying because, oh no, Edon ruined our chances. No, he's probably crying because he's like, that's my bro. Like, if the fans have this much power over him, what if I want to date? What kind, what kind of life did I sign myself up for to where these random 14, 15-year-old girls can run my life like that? Honestly, like, I think this whole thing is ridiculous. Once again, more power to Edon and Hyuna. I hope they create Double H and go and be successful outside of Korea. Outside, they don't need those flaky stands anyway, who are going to leave just because you decided that you wanted to get yourself a woman. So that's my dissertation. It was really it really wasn't organized. But that's really pretty much my thoughts that I can think of.
I mean, like, I completely agree. Like, at the end of the day, they're people. They, like other people. They maybe want to build futures with other people. They've been dating for 2 years, so it's like, it's not like they just started dating, like the reveal came out now, but they've already broken up, and because they've been dating for 3 months, kind of thing. Like the normal idol kind of reveals. It's not like that. They're clearly in a relationship and they're happy. Well, I mean, they look happy on stage, so I mean, I assume that they're happy. And I think that this would have been another chance. Like, we talked about Sunny before and how it's been a chance to, see idols, or former idols as adults and like as real people. But also seeing like Hyuna, who's, she's what, like 20, late 20s, like 27, 28 kind of ages. And she's been in this game for a very long time. I don't see what like Cube has to lose for her to be like, I'm in a relationship, Pentagon, it's a little bit different because he's not a solo artist and he's in a big group and they're still kind of Nugu. So it is going to be stricter for him. But once again, like, they came to KCON, which is for, international fans. These are people who are supporting the relationship from what I can see. It would have been a really great time to make a statement and have him there with his group and be surrounded by people who do support them and who, like, are with them regardless of what they're doing. The whole dating scandal thing is like so bananas crazy to me because I never think that anybody that I like as a celebrity belongs to me. I don't think that I own them. So this is one part of K-pop that I never understood and I never really wanted to understand it because I just thought it was so toxic and unhealthy, and it just leads to people being unhappy for a very long time. So, I mean, Hyuna was supposed to have a solo comeback, right? After the Triple H stuff? Is that like gonna happen? Is that up in the air now, or?
I don't think anyone knows at this point. They've just been changing all of the appearances that they've been having. They've been changing them, and as far as I've seen, there has not been any official, like, any official
statement or anything like that about it.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. Mm-hmm.
I was surprised to see that they had like canceled some of her solo stuff, because I felt like Hyuna's like, she's an adult, she's a grown woman, like her whole image is based on like her being, you know, like sexy, sexual, and an adult, and sort of like not an idol. So
also, she's essentially the G-Dragon of Cube, right? I mean, she brings in most of their
money.
Right. I mean, she's essentially an executive. I mean, pretty much.
She's like mentoring these groups, you know, like CLC, and it's very strange to me. And I mean, I'm not a Hyuna fan. Like, I've never really been into her solos. Like, I like some of her songs, but I've never really been into her personality, or like I've just never been into it. But looking at this whole thing is just, it's a mess. Like, and they had like 2 other dating scandals at the same time, and now like there was like a rumor that came out that someone from BTOB was dating somebody, and how like the Beast / Highlight members all got special favors in uni, and it's like, I don't know what's going on. Sorry?
No, I was just saying, that's a real scandal. The whole Highlight thing.
Yeah, right? But like all this stuff is
when people are like literally just lying their way through college. Like, what?
All idols do that.
I know,
all of them.
That's it's just weird to me how like people blow up the dating scandal, but not like the actual issues. Like, that's just so weird to me. I'm gonna, you know what? And from henceforth, I'm not even gonna say dating scandal. Because it's not a scandal.
It's not.
I'm just gonna say dating situation or dating period, because it's not, and people shouldn't perpetuate that idea. We live in 2018. This isn't the days where, you know, you can. I mean, honestly, there was never a time where you could do this to people, to real human beings. But at the same time, it's like in the earlier days, when I guess K-pop was more Korean, like more closed off, more isolated, I can see how that mindset would proliferate. But these days, there are people all across the world who are into K-pop, and in most cultures, there's not this sense of ownership over our celebrities. Like, I don't feel like, I'm happy that Beyonce is married to Jay-Z and it keeps popping out. Okay, no, I'm not.
I'm not at all.
Well,
good try.
You know what?
You're not, but you're not. So it doesn't inspire jealousy.
Right.
No.
I feel like our own.
You don't feel like you need to intervene in the relationship.
Right. And I'm not gonna like, if Beyonce wants to stay with Jay-Z, even though he's cheating on her, that's her prerogative. And she's a grown woman. I'm not gonna say anything else about it. I don't have to respect him or whatever, but that's besides the point. My point is, I don't feel like I own these people and all that, and I support their decisions if they are, you know, not harming anybody, right? So
exactly. It's weird because it's like in the idol world, there's so many actual scandals, like drunk driving and like filling up people's legs and like all this weird stuff, and you know, there's scandals for like what, maybe a couple of weeks while it's juicy, and you know, like all K-pop and like netizen buzz, you know, the trashier sites can kind of like sink their teeth into it and like make a thing of it. And then like this is not hurting anybody. This really has nothing to do with anybody. Like, if E'Dawn and Hyuna are together, or if they're not together, how does it affect their music? How does it affect, you know, what they're doing on stage? How does it affect anything? Right. You know, like, it's just so stupid. Like, and I
was gonna say, if anything, what we can expect from this, if it continues to be a thing, is hopefully we can get some music videos where Lil Baby Assad Hannah E'Dawn Pentagon the First is producing tracks and records like Assad Khaled, and maybe we can get some, you know, their baby Ivy, you know, making money, and we get to watch this child proliferate and grow like the little flower that I know this angel will be. I'm supporting this. I'm 100%. I love when fans get up. Oh, I love when fans get upset. That's just over nothing. Yes. So anything to just fuel that. I'm just here for it.
It's so strange. Like they should, like if they were smart, they should have just continued those promotions because now they're gonna have even more views and even more people talking, and they would be trending more if they were still performing together. Like I would have been like, oh, they're dating and they're in this group, and clearly like this group was created out of maybe the relationship, and Huey or whatever his name was just like, oh, I guess I can be in it, and I'll be your third wheel. Like I feel like they could have made something out of that would have maybe made them some more money, but also like allowed them to continue as, Pentagon and not Octagon or whatever the hell they're calling by now. And Hyuna, it's not affecting her solo stuff. Though I did hear she's going to be on that Secret Nuna or Secret Ani show.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I did hear she's going to be on that. So I mean, maybe she is kind of just being quiet now, maybe out of solidarity with her man, because he's like suspended or whatever. So
and you know what? Like now that you mention it, that's something that I feel like K-pop can definitely learn from Western pop, or like just Western pop culture as a whole. Is like whenever there's something like this where it's like big news, but it's not like necessarily a bad thing, at least in the American perspective. A lot of times it gets twisted into money. Like what American celebrities do well is they turn their scandals into money. Like Kim Kardashian, that's literally what the Kardashians are built on, turning scandals into money.
And stealing from Black women.
That's true. Yeah.
Just fill up my teacup. Fill it up. Oh my gosh. I don't know where to begin with all this. Cube is a mess. I will say that. They always are into some kind of, I thought all that stuff with Beast highlight was like like what else? And I got it. Them dating, okay. It's kind of a trip that she was with him even before the group formed, and like
that's hilarious.
That's kind of, so I guess Hyuna has way more clout than I guess I ever imagined, because I guess she had a say in like, look, you better put this guy in the group, but she left the part that was her boyfriend. And two, when she did Roll Deep, one of the B2B members he was in the video, but not on the live stages, and it was Edon. And I'm pretty sure they were dating by that point. So I kind of thought like, oh, she's helping the guy that hasn't debuted yet, get some exposure and whatnot. But that's also her boyfriend. So that's kind of, and like that. What was that? I saw that one song that she did last year, The Bay.
Baby.
That was about, like that's about an older woman dating a younger guy, and he is older than Edon. So I guess the clues were there, but nobody put them together because they weren't saying like we're dating each other.
Honestly, I was shocked because you remember like a couple weeks ago we were talking about how Edon looked a little bit spooked when she was pushing her.
And then he was like, "I'm a virgin too."
I'm a virgin.
Like, and then I guess was like, "That's a big lie." She's like, "Why you always lie?" Yeah, but
it totally explains her expression in that, because she looked like she was confused, bewildered, just like kind of pissed, like also, and like he was quick to like correct himself. He's like, "Oh, I've never been with someone before," and she just looked like, "Okay, I'm done. Why am I here doing this interview with these people? Like, get my bag, get my shit, let's go."
Right. So I guess that in that kind of aspect, it is kind of like, LOL, they had us, they had an inside joke in front of all of us. But like, it's just like, them dating, I was just like, okay, they're humans too, and they want to date. I do find it kind of ironic in K-pop is that like for the most part, most of the songs are love songs, but the idols don't ever actually get to experience that, or they have to go to these extreme lengths to like date because they date in secret. And that's another thing too that trips me out is that like people are like, how can you date somebody in secret? I mean, there are ways.
Right.
Yes.
That girl
I
that was
mean,
running
you know,
those condo.
With
That's right.
Zico and Soyeon?
Was that her name? That gift
Yeah.
is iconic of her running into the
I
building.
mean,
That is iconic.
I feel bad for her about that because I mean, she was the one that got the brunt of that,
Yeah.
and I mean, he got away scot free, and then it was
Oh
all
yeah.
on her. I mean, I feel bad about that, but I mean, I don't like. Okay, you know, that was her boyfriend, and you know, he was calling, and she literally ran to his door.
Those memes were killing me.
So, but I mean, they just want to date, and I mean, I
Hannah
guess more
learned
so.
to go.
Hmm?
Hannah said, I'm not gonna be running to my man. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put him in front of the world.
Yep.
Right?
We ain't had nothing. I respect
Right.
that. That's I don't even like mess with Hannah. I mess with one Pentagon song, even though it's probably like my favorite song right now.
Mm-hmm.
I just think the whole situation is hilarious and it's providing a constant stream of laughs. And part of the main reason why I want to continue to support Pentagon is so that I can get more entertainment from this. Like, this is hilarious to me.
Right.
But that's kind of petty.
Right.
I mean,
So, do you guys think that with Ejon being left out of all of the recent um, Pentagon's activities, do you guys think that he's going to be eventually kicked out of Pentagon, or do you think this is just a temporary thing?
honestly,
I think so.
yeah, I think
Yeah,
so.
it's
Just the way that Cube is acting and like knowing their track
yeah,
record. I mean, how dirty they did Beast, and Beast was like their main money maker, and they were literally, you know, fighting to like keep them or like cancel them out with their dying breath, and it didn't work. I guess they're trying to do what they can to prevent that. I really don't know how the members feel because they went to KCON and then like what from what I saw through Twitter, uh, was that like none of the other members like even acknowledged like Edon at least. I don't know about the other guy if they said anything about him. I don't know if like the members are as a group willingly choosing that themselves or if like Cube is telling them like if you don't like cancel him out, then we're gonna come after you. Like I don't know. Um, and I mean, I kind of hate that that's kind of the narrative that's going because this was an opportunity to like normalize dating in K-pop and like the idols dating. I'm not surprised that it's you know they're from the same company because like who else are idols around most of the time besides the managers? It's other idols normally within their company. I mean, the way that they handled that Cube is handling it is really bad. I mean, it's not like SM
right.
because people can say whatever about Tay and Bake dating or Kai or Crystal. They can say whatever they want to and like all the theories and whatever about that. But you know, SM was basically they're dating. That's it. They didn't
Yep.
say anything else.
Right.
Mind your business.
This
Yeah,
is what
they were still working. There was both of them were still working. You know, there were some pictures of them together. Now, whether that was set up or not, I don't know. But you know, there's just that yes, they're dating, and they still went to work. There wasn't this. We're going to cancel your events. We're going to hide one of you. We're going to do this and that. So I don't know.
and that
I don't
really
know. I
didn't
mean,
have
like,
a negative effect on EXO's coin because
No.
both of those scandals I said I was gonna say scandals. Both of those lovely. Actually, I don't like Taeyeon or Baekhyun, so yeah, it's kind of a scandal.
I mean, well, I like that. I like that they got the fans riled up and that they were like, "How dare they date?" You know, I mean, I was like, "They're people. They like each other." I
Right.
mean, I don't.
I feel like
So,
what I'm saying
I
is like clearly Cube. I think this Cube's thought process is like it's gonna affect our bottom line, but that clearly did not happen with when EXO had two dating scandals at the same time because EXO was still SM's number. SM was the nation's boy band at that time, and was still the number one group in Korea when that happened. So I think it goes to show you that I just think Cube is mismanaging this, and that all of their idols need to go to SM, particularly.
Right, and the thing too, I will say is that like when this first all came out, it was like, what else is going on? Because this might be a conspiracy theory, whatever. But normally, when there's something like this, like K-pop related, there's normally something else, I guess, quote unquote, more serious going on. Like,
Yeah.
okay, there's something K-pop going on that's blowing up, that's #1 on the trend. So what's really going on? Let me look at these, government articles, something about the environment. What's really going on? Because
Suddenly you find out.
Yeah, because I think too is that the reason why like everybody's talking about K-pop right now and not whatever the issue is because like there are a lot of K-pop fans, and K-pop is really marketed towards like tweens,
yeah,
younger kids. And for me, it's like a nostalgia of like what I used to know from music that's like still there that I'm not seeing so much in the West, but I am seeing it in K-pop. So that's like why. But I mean, I'm not like all into it. I like stan Twitter, even though I know some of the lingo. But but I'm like, what else is going on? And when I find out, I'm like, this is what people should really be talking about. But I did see like with this issue, from what I saw, was that there's now, don't quote me on this. This is just what I saw. Is that on Jeju Island?
Oh, the Jeju Island serial killer.
Yes, that there has been a series of murders. That there has been a series of murders, and that they don't. Yeah, some people are saying that the police really aren't doing anything. Some people are saying that they just don't care. Some people are saying like they really don't know how to go about this. That they don't want to affect their tourism to the island. That's really what's going on. That some netizens did try to get that to trend so other people would see, but they said like on the real-time charts, like it would show up and then it would immediately like disappear, and that it was nothing about like then all that was showing was like all this K-pop stuff. So like Hyuna, Edon, dating, all this K-pop related stuff. Nothing about like there's this murderer on the island. The police aren't really catching them. And you're like, what?
Wow.
But I don't know.
I actually have thought about this. Oh, I remember my EXO conspiracy theory from earlier. Anyway, I have a
okay.
Okay, but I don't necessarily think that K-pop is used to cover up Korean government scandals. I do think that that's something that does happen where there's probably a scandal that's bigger that may not necessarily be linked like to something necessarily more important. Like for example, this is just an example, okay? In the West, back when all like the Bill Cosby stuff was going on, it's really interesting to me because at the same time, that's when like all of these like white directors and sorry, I just have to be real. All the white like movie directors and stuff were being exposed. Like, and I just found it interesting that like the media focused much more on Bill Cosby than literally like every other white actor and director and news host was being exposed for sexually assaulting somebody. I just thought that was really interesting, like the way the media portrayed that. The focus was only on one case. And this has not been the first time that that's happened. And it's not even like the best example of it. It happened in the past before multiple times where you have people who have more money and are more powerful who do worse things. Or not even just worse things, but they do the same thing as someone else, but one person is like the sacrificial lamb.
The scapegoat, the one that everybody can place their bias on already. Idols have a bias against them. They have a big bias against them. They're under these kind of conflicting expectations. You know, I mean, it's easy. I mean, they're easy target, and that's what people are going to go for. They're like, instead of going after the target that is probably more deserving, that is really going to have people really examine not only the issue, but their really thought process in it is like, where do I stand on this issue? Okay, I say it's okay for, so-and-so Mr. White director to get away with it. Oh, but Bill Cosby? Oh, no, we need to lock him up. Why is that? Why is it okay for, Mr. So-and-so, I feel like, okay, he can do that, it was what they were wearing. For Bill Cosby, oh no, he knew better, da 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 da. People don't want to do that because that's hard. That's really hard to look at yourself and really be honest about where your bias lies. It's easy for you to, like, oh, this person fits whatever stereotype I have, so I can just throw all my anger on them and call it a day. I don't have to really examine myself, or where my ignorant bias comes into all this. I don't want to do that. They just want to take the easy way out and go about their life. That's what's happening. I mean, I'm glad that you pointed that parallel out, because everything that happens in K-pop and whatever, it happens, everywhere else in the world.
Right,
it's easier for us to look at it because we're not in it.
Right. And you know what? It's actually I'm thinking back to when you brought up the Jeju Island thing. It's actually really interesting because there is clearly some sort of attempt to like pretend nothing is wrong in Korea, because there's been multiple occasions where I've tried to find more information about it, but it's like people don't want to admit that this is an issue in Korea. It's kind of like the people putting the cameras in the women's like stalls in Korea.
Oh my god, that is so disgusting.
Oh my gosh,
like I feel like Korea wants to do this whole like PR campaign. This like propaganda is what it really is, and it's funny because they do use idols for propaganda. For example, NCT has a series right now where the foreigners from NCT are basically talking about how great Seoul is. Literally every episode is like, let's do something cool in Seoul and talk about how great Seoul is and why you should come visit. And it's actually Nyan tourism YouTube channel. So when they do use idols to like promote the better interests of the country. And they do try to cover up the real issues, like this serial killer and these perverts and the pedophilia that is widespread and rampant, particularly in Korea and Japan. People don't want to talk about that. It's real. And the epidemic that they're having, and then also the issues that they're having with not wanting to accept the refugees and all that. Like Korea has some. When you look into it, oh god.
Go off. They need to learn. They need to learn and realize that. That's what they need to do. They need to learn and realize that Korea is
interesting to me because they always not. When I say they, I'm not talking about every single Korean person or every single Asian person, for example. I just mean like generally speaking, netizens from different countries tend to paint America like it's just, oh, America is just the worst country. We're just, we're so much socially and culturally, we're better. And there's this, that, and the other. But I don't know. Japan is still denying the fact that they participated in the genocide of over 250,000 people in Nanking, and that was over 50 years ago. So Japan is still pretending like they didn't have Korean comfort women right before the Korean War when they were occupying Korea. Like I said, this was in the 1900s. This wasn't, centuries and millennia ago. This was literally like when our grandparents were kids. Like
these women are still alive.
Yeah, right. And Japan has not even apologized. They're pretending like it didn't even happen. So, and Korea has done things in China. And for example, Mao Zedong and the 45 million Chinese people that he starved to death during the famine, during the Great Leap Forward. He just love to pretend like these things didn't happen. And I was like watching and reading a lot on how Japan completely rebranded itself and made it seem like to basically use soft power, like that's where like the Hello Kitty and all that comes from, like the kawaii culture, and like Korean, you have Egyo culture and all that. It comes from this like not wanting to be seen as a threat because of all the stuff they did during the 1900s. It's crazy when you get into it, and it really fits how those countries see themselves today and how they do these PR campaigns. Like, we're so great. Look, all of our singers. Look at, we have Hallyu, we have, J-pop, we have all these things. We're so great. America and the West is just so, out there. Corrupt, right. Look at, their president is horrible. And it's like, we know that we have problems, but I feel like a lot of times in East Asian countries, particularly in the Far East, they don't want to acknowledge the issues within their own countries. And that's where you get idols thinking racism is okay, but dating is a problem. And that's
girl, your team set me kind on fire. I'm like, I'm blamed now.
I think it kind of like ties into like model minorities, especially over here, like in the US and Canada and all these countries where, you know, like they have their own issues, but, you know, they're better than the blacks. So,
Yeah.
like, they take that and, like, now that they're on a bigger international level, because, you know, like, you know, K-pop itself is getting bigger. It's you know dominating charts in places it never used to. So its reach is a lot larger, and so they're bringing that sort of model minority mentality or mindset, and it's just like instead of it just being localized to the States or Canada or you know the Caribbean or whatever, now it's like this global thing where you know we're polite and everything's age based, so you respect your elders, and you know we're the socially conservative great country, but you know our men are putting cameras in bathrooms and you know like causing girls to commit suicide because of we're raping them, but you know we don't talk about that stuff, and because we don't talk about that stuff it doesn't exist.
Exactly.
And it's just like
I go
like
off.
it's funny because like they say they like to talk about the States and they like have a lot to say. Not all Koreans or not all Asians, obviously. Disclaimer, because you know if you don't put that there, that's the first thing people will say.
Right.
But like for all their talk about the States, breaking in the U.S. like is a huge deal. It's a big thing, and it brought like BTS. You know, like obviously they're selling a lot of records, blah blah blah. But them winning, you know, Billboard awards is pretty much what gave them the key to Korea. You know, like they came back and they're so respected. And it's just like
takes on this. Continue, I'm hearing it.
Okay. But it's like this validation, this like white imperialistic validation. Cause like they have a lot of talk about the US, but if the US wanted to take over Korea tomorrow, they could because they already have the military base there. So I mean, at this point, you know, they can talk all the shit that they want about the States and about, you know, Western world, but obviously, like, we still have crap that we're dealing with here. I mean, we're not perfect. I'm not saying that one is better than the other. I'm just saying it's hypocritical for them to say the things that they say. It's like the fact that, you know, K-pop was built, you know, on sort of like black groups in the 60s and whatever, and like, and the black sound. Oh, I mean,
it was.
It was.
I just found an article the other day that was talking about how R&B producers and writers and producers and stuff are finding a new lease on creativity through K-pop groups because R&B in the United States is not. It's not popular anymore.
Oh my
so
God.
now we have, you know, in K-pop, we have R&B that's becoming popular through groups like, you know,
Red Velvet,
like Red Velvet,
saying the
N-word, like stereotypes, and they're getting work through them, and how you know they're not getting work through American groups, so they're getting work through K-pop groups now, and it's amazing. It's
I know. It's like well,
I mean, I don't have anything to say about it because it's
I would honestly you know what I would say, like as controversial as it is, I always believe that the melding or I think that hip hop overtook R&B, and I think it led to its demise. And hip hop, like it's not hip hop anymore, it's rap music, and really it's just beats and people talking all crazy. But like I personally believe that, you know, I love R&B. I still listen to R&B. I listen to R&B now. I listen to old R&B. Like it is what it is, but it's not mainstream anymore because of hip hop. That's personally of like not hip hop, sorry, because of rap music. And that's personally my opinion on it. And I do think that, you know, it's a big discussion because there's so many talking points and whatever. But when people, I think I saw an interview with the people who wrote Bad Boy, and how like the music that they're making now is music they listened to on the radio when they were kids, and you know they were just sad that they couldn't make it in the States anymore because there's no market for it. So they have to do it in Korea. And probably now they're going to be doing it in like Japan and other countries as well too, trying to like opening up that market. And it is sad. But, you know what? If R&B has to live through something else right now, maybe it's on a hiatus here.
That's
I'm not mad. I'm not mad
prefer
at
the
it.
hiatus.
Yeah,
But you know
I'm
what?
not mad.
Back to your hot take on BTS. I'm
Yeah.
sorry, but you opened that up for me because this okay, this is the true tea about BTS. I'm about to spit straight flames. Okay, no, not really. This is probably stuff you've already heard before. But but this is what I think about the whole BTS getting so popular in America. I Something tells me BTS does not care to be popular in America. Something tells me that like they don't mind the perks of it and meeting all these celebrities and all that. But I really think they might feel like they are. It's like almost like a self-defeatist kind of attitude. You know what I mean? And here's my train of thought. I think what has happened with BTS is that Korea did not appreciate them. They were not here for them. Korea, like I said, EXO was Korea, the nation's boys band after Big Bang. Um, and Korea, and then BTS went over to America. They did a lot of cringy stuff like AHL. And then they got really big and they got that acceptance from the American 10 to 14-year-old Caucasian demographic. And they brought that back to Korea, and Korea was impressed. Korea was like, wow. You know, they weren't impressed because necessarily BTS was like their top, group musically, because as we can see, 101 is what the type of music that Korea wants to hear. Power Up is the type of music that Korea wants to hear. Korea doesn't want to hear what's a fire BTS song?
Dope.
Korea don't want to hear. You said Dope?
Dope was that jam.
Korea really, I don't think Korea really, I mean, they appreciate BTS to an extent, like they're hardcore day ones. But in terms of Korea general public, I've talked to a lot of Korean people, and not saying that my anecdotal evidence means a lot, but just from seeing, the trends and the statistics and the sales and all that, it just seems to me that BTS is big in Korea because they're big in America. And as soon as that light flickers out, it's going to be all about Korea's main core groups, which is really Big Bang and EXO. To me, I feel like EXO has longevity in Korea, so EXO I think is one of Korea's main groups. 101, I really don't understand that phenomenon. I don't like their music, so
it's not good. It's not good.
But they like them for whatever reason,
right?
Yeah.
So, but I truly feel like I agree with a lot of people who have that same, who I've seen people have this opinion that like BTS really their overall success, which is largely due to Korea, because that's just kind of how album sales work. Like Korean people buy more physical albums. Their album sales success in Korea is because Korea thinks that America is obsessed with them. When in reality, there's like a really small demographic. Honestly, it's not. I'm not saying it's not significant. It is.
I think it's also because they have such a huge, like their group of fans are so dedicated to proving that BTS is number one.
Yeah.
Like so much of their success has been given because of their fans.
Yeah.
So I think that's part of it. Like their fans have provided so much of their success.
Yeah, the original 50.
That's true. Go on. I mean, tell it. Tell it. The pictures are out there. The original 50.
Like honestly, as much as AHL was so cringy, like watching them go on the streets in America, like saying our concert is free. Come, it's not funny, but it is at the same time. Like it just. I think people empathize with it a lot. Like their fans tend to empathize with it a lot. Like the fact that they were doing things like that, something that I feel like no other group
underdog
in hip hop like actually get out there on the ground and like promote themselves in that way. And I think their fans like see that and they go, "Oh my God, my babies have been through so much. I need to nurture them and I need to hold them and coddle them basically. So yeah, I definitely agree that it's like a largely due to their very dedicated fan base. And when it comes to the general public, it's definitely due to their acceptance, their perceived acceptance in countries that are not Korea.
Right. And BTS is an underdog story. Everybody loves it.
Of
Yeah.
course.
Like the group, little engine that could, that against all odds,
Oh, Mr.
quote
Train.
unquote, snatched everybody's wig. They did it on their own terms, their own way. They went against the system. And people like to see that because we can all, I mean, we all can't maybe identify with the already popular rich successful person, but we all can on some level, I feel like, empathize with the person that they tried their hardest and they didn't win, because like we can all think of a time where we did that ourselves. So when we see that in others and we see them succeed against all odds, that makes us like root for them a little bit more, or still like have that hope. I mean, here in the West, I mean, there are some people that at a time I was like, I know you messed up really big, Lindsay Lohan, but I still want you to win. You still have it in you. I mean, nowadays, that train is long and that train is long gone for me. But I mean, at the time, I was like, there's still some fight in you. You still have it. You show that you can like really be a threat in the industry, that you can make some people sweat. You just got to get your mind right. You got to go away for a little bit, come back stronger. So when people see that in like the entertainers that we can identify with on that level, then I guess we will go a little bit harder, to support them in whatever way that we can. But then, I mean, but then I think about this saying, either die a hero or you live long enough to see yourself become the villain.
Yeah.
Great quote. Great quote. Yep.
Maybe not necessarily the villain in this situation, anti-hero.
Yeah.
So
Sorry.
Yeah.
oh no, it's okay. What were you gonna say?
No, I was
just
gonna just basically make a comment on Love Yourself Answer concept photo in regards to this conversation. I think that when we talk about the little engine that could, when I see those photos, I see the little engine that stopped, that just don't have nowhere else to go.
you mean it's stuck on the track. There's no more
Yeah.
track for it. Okay, I got you.
BTS is just not trying with them pictures. I'm sorry. The Love Yourself concept, I'm glad that it's over. But them concept photos, what were they thinking? And then they're talking about this next uh album is going to be so political. And I'm like, oh, you're gonna talk about how hard it is to be an idol, how moving and how original. We haven't heard you talk about it before. It's just like I'm not impressed. In the pictures, if you look at the concept photos, that's really what it's showing, like the eyeballs and the hands grabbing out and the cameras. It's like, I hate being an idol and I hate being like famous. And it's just like, that's not political, BTS. I don't know if y'all know what that word means, but that's not what it is.
It's crazy because like I feel like there are a handful of K-pop artists who have actually spoken out about real issues. Like Suzy, she signed that petition, right, about that girl who was like molested by in that photography studio or whatever. I mean, that whole thing, and like she got pushback. Or like Dongwon from Shinhwa, he has every year he donates money to comfort women, and he wears the pin in solidarity with comfort women. Like these are people who like are actually out here talking about things that are controversial, things that actually have repercussions, but they're speaking out about it, or they're putting their names on it because they believe in it. I'm not saying that like obviously like teenage angst is a big thing, and I mean it's such a formative year. Like it's good when you have people that teens look up to speaking on teen angst and suicide and body issues and blah blah blah. But until they can come out and talk about like guys putting cameras in girls' bathrooms and like like the whole like stalker crazy fan issues and things like that, like what is this really? It's just love songs. It's
Yes.
just more love songs.
And you know what? It would be different if their take on idol life was like, okay, we want our fans to control themselves, and we want our fans to
Yeah.
like not be racist or not like what I mean. But they're not doing that. Instead, what it is like, Dispatch is following me, like, and it's like that's valid, right? But I think where I'm coming from is like I feel like they were promising something we haven't heard before and something that will make people go, "What? They're really going to say this? They're really talking about this?" And honestly, that's not a shock to me. I just hear
No.
all the time that same story about celebrities who don't want to be famous. It's an age-old story. Um, what would be different is if you actually head on address like what people are doing wrong within your own fan base. Like armies are very problematic, like most fan bases, but with armies is magnified because there's so many of them. And just like and then like the fact that people see the anti-blackness within their fan base, and like for example, how the Luna fans were like, well, they already say anti-black things already. Why don't we just like cosplay as armies and spew even more hate? Like you know what I mean? It's like they got
Mm-hmm.
because they already see armies doing it, and they know that it makes people turn away from BTS. It's like I don't know. I think that it would be different if they were addressing and like the album hasn't come out yet, of course, but it does sound like it's going to go in the same direction as the other Love Yourself albums, which is the intro will be introspective, and then the rest of the tracks will be love songs.
Well, with Fake Love, like I know Fake Love did well on the charts and stuff like that, but I was actually surprised when I'd seen that it has like under 300 million views, right? On YouTube. Blackpink is like nearing them with like half the time. So I
Yeah.
don't know if like, and I was looking at the sales too for like, I was thinking about single of the year and things like that and who would be the front runner. And it doesn't even look like BTS is like Fake Love did great, obviously for them, but it didn't have the impact like Bam did. It didn't have the impact like, Love Scenario. I mean, is it, I don't know. I'm not saying that they're waning in Korea, but I don't think that the Korean market is like, I feel like they, like, as you said, they have 101 making music that they want to hear, So,
Like honestly, I would not be shocked if 101 won like real awards, honestly, in Korea. Just because
yeah.
they have constantly been on top of every chart, on every list. Every time they release something, it's like just the kings of K-pop in Korea. And that's just insane to me. Like that's crazy to me to think about that because 101 are doing almost BTS numbers without any international presence.
Yeah. That's
Like
the thing. Like,
over 1 million physical without any international, like, if you think about it compared to BTS, who has like millions of fans internationally, 101 can barely sell out your local neighborhood 7-Eleven.
That's the same place where they filmed the energetic video.
Interesting.
No, it's totally true. Like, it's really strange, this whole new like third generation and like how it's moving and how it's going. And I'm not like saying, I am obviously a second gen fan. So for me,
Yeah, no, so am I.
my groups are
And
mainly in the second gen. And like
yeah.
the third gen are still kind of foreign to me. Like we watch Nugu groups and whatever, but like uh, I'm taking what I like from it and then I just go back to second gen groups.
Yeah.
But the shift with now like more international fans and like international fans who have power. Because like in BTS's case, the sales in on the Billboard chart, right? They're more reflective of the sales in the US, no? Is that like that's
Yeah,
how it
pretty
works, right?
much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I mean they're like I feel like maybe their Korean fan base will like people will still hold them in high regard because of the US acceptance. But I feel like that might start to dwindle the farther they are away from Korea, the more that 101 and Icon and all these other strictly, or more, they promote more in Korea groups. Like, like as I mentioned, and Stray Kids and GOT7 and all these people. I feel like their fan base in Korea will start to shrink. And then people in the US, what happens with boy bands is people grow up.
Yeah.
People are not willing to be like it's not something that you stick with because you're dedicated and you built this family and like whatever. It's like you get to a certain age and you kind of stop listening to pop music or that type of pop music and you move on to other things.
Right.
But I think the thing with Big Hit is specifically that they will never do that will make them miles above JYP as far as how they handle their groups and everything. They will never decide to go ahead and just move BTS to the Western market and say, hey, we're just gonna start promoting them there now. They're never going to do that. They've always treated the Western success as an afterthought and is, okay, the West people in America like us, and this is an extra thing that is really good, but we're going to still, focus on Korea and the Korean market as well, which I think is smart because that's their base, that's their home base.
Yeah.
And that's where they know that they can know that they can depend on them for sales and and to depend on them for their fan base and everything.
In America,
so yeah,
just like in America, our market it's multifaceted, right? It's for one, like you said, teenagers are fickle in America, but there's also this it really, to me, it has a lot to do with the quality of music you're making too, because New Edition still has fans, like diehard 40-year-old, like 50-year-old fans, like in the 90s who were boy bands, but they were making baby making music. They were making age appropriate 9 times out of 10. I mean, sometimes you had the two young ones making two grown stuff, but they were making like music that was timeless. And I think that is why you see those types of groups still touring, even though Bobby Brown hasn't been able to bust a move in 35 years.
Right.
And he's gross.
That is what I think that it's just. I think that when we talk about like the concept of a boy band or a girl group succeeding in America, it has a lot to do with not just when you come out, but like what kind of music you make. Because if it's straight up pop music, people are going to get over it because pop music is fickle. That's why it's called pop music. It's what's popular in the moment. But if you have some stuff that's like true to a specific genre, to a specific, what I mean? Like if it's hard to explain what I'm saying, but like you can see it a lot with a lot of like 80s and 90s groups that are still together and still touring and still doing well in America. Like not, you know what I mean? Like it's
yeah, but part of it for me, okay, well, two things. The first thing is that like the whole thing about like focusing on Korea, Beast is a great example because I feel like they had the opportunity to go international, but they never did. They always stay close to Korea, really. I mean, they kind of tried in Japan, I will say, for a little bit, but in like Korea, they're almost on the same level as Big Bang. Almost. I will say that because they're almost like a 10-year-old group now. They still sell out stadiums, like their last concert that they had. Like the fan chants, they would be shook. Like they were loud. They were loud for them. Like I was like, they got fans like that. I mean, it blew my mind that the fans were that dedicated to them. And I mean, it makes sense because that's their homeland. Like they can tour around the world and all that kind of stuff, but I mean, unless they make like this really concentrated effort to focus on Japan, where else would they be big in? Where else are they going to like have that money, that respect? You know, they show that they have a whole lot of clout to make their own company and still be able to promote and things like that. They shaded Q because they did sing "Good Luck" at one of their concerts as highlight. Um, so I mean, they have that. That's like a whole lot of clout for them to do that, and that's like a rarity that you see in K-pop because the only other band to break away from their label and still promote and not be blocked is Shinhwa, even though Shinhwa had their issues. So for BTS, that makes sense that because eventually, like you all are saying, like the fans in America are gonna either grow out of them or move on to somebody else. And the thing is too about so the second thing is about like all these '90s groups coming back. It's nostalgia, really.
Yep.
I mean, yeah,
And
I think that's part of it, but I mean, like, there are a lot of groups that have toured nonstop, or just acts in general, not just groups. Like, for example, Diana Ross has never, pretty much,
right. But that's the thing is that when you stop becoming like a chart artist and like always focusing on like trying to have a number one album, and then when you make the shift to either just retire or whatever, or you become a touring act. So the focus isn't like on albums per se, it's about performing because you know you can make money on tours, you know, in whatever venues you can get.
And
Um,
nostalgia.
Right. And I mean too,
Hmm.
because I mean when like all these groups were coming back from the '90s, I was like, really? Like, okay, I guess. I mean, some of them I totally passed on, or some of them like I gave them a shot, and I was like, I'm not really feeling this. But then there are some like other fans that are hardcore, like, oh, like they're I don't know if they're trying to recapture their youth or like what the music that's out now is like not something that they're into, so they're going to go with something that they know. And I mean that's just how it is. I mean, here in America, there's a certain point where your career can only go certain ways. Whether you reach a level where you're always going to be like at this top level, and no matter what you do, there's going to be enough people to support you, or your time's gonna in the spotlight's gonna fade, and then either you kind of not do it anymore, or you focus on touring because you can always make some money somewhere being on stage.
right. I
um,
mean, I guess that's kind of the way I'm looking at it when I'm saying, like, it is possible for any group to have a continued success in America. I'm just looking at it more so from any way possible, albums or not. Um,
mhm,
and, you know, any artist makes more money touring than selling albums anyway, because most of the money when you sell albums gets splits up in the record company, it gets
Hmm.
mhm,
producers and the writers and all that. And I know in Korea they don't pay royalties. I know like most, I think it's like you get a one-time fee for writing a song, which is gross.
right.
That's kind of messed up. But I think what I'm saying is like if if BTS, obviously I don't think this is the case with BTS, but if BTS was one of those groups that had a certain style of music, or had music that was more than just like 20 years later we're going to look at it for nostalgic purposes or whatever, because there are groups that are able to do that. Like for example, I know the Jackson Five isn't a boy band, but there are a group who are able to do that. Like people don't just listen to Michael Jackson out of nostalgia. They listen to Michael Jackson because they love Michael Jackson. I'm saying like I think it's possible, right? Is it probable for a group like BTS? My whole approach to it is no, because I don't even think they want that, and even if they did, I just don't think that that's. I don't know. Their music is not geared towards it. Their music is geared towards like this current success and trying to stay relevant in Korea, which is like
And
I said, really smart.
right. And that's like another thing, well, for me anyways, that like people, I feel like in general, even before now, that they just make music for the moment, like what's popular right now. So I
Yeah.
mean, they're like songs like I can like kind of pick out when that song was made because what else was like the music genre that's popular at the time, as opposed to making something that if the way
Timeless.
that I do like the way that I do music is like would I still want to perform this 10 years later?
Right,
Would
exactly.
I would I be embarrassed? Like, how would I feel about that? You know, that's kind of my approach when I come to music. I mean, I don't know how other people do. I mean, I think like they make music for the moment, like right then, like what's gonna sell right now, as so opposed to looking long term, like, you know, or like how can I change the song? Like, can I switch up like the genre and things like that? You know, that's like I think that I really don't see, or like people really take into consideration. They're just like looking like right at the moment. And I feel like our society as a whole globally now is like, what can I do right now to get popular that's going to get people to look at me, as opposed to like long term.
Right.
And so like that's like why we, you know, Beyonce said, you know, people make these little quick little singles, and when it burns out they make another one. Nobody's really making music for the long term. I mean,
It's true.
wasn't a lie, because that's how the whole industry is now. People just make these, and it's like we're so burnt out. Like after we hear a song, we're like, okay, what's the next thing? How are you gonna slay me next? Are you? And when they don't, you know, it's like, okay, well, I'm gonna find somebody else, and then it's just like the cycle's repeating. And like feel like now like things are so stagnant that it's just a free for all. Like nobody knows like where to go, what to do, what direction to take. Nobody's taking any risks, because you know,
Nope.
only certain sound is selling, only certain people are on top, and it's always them. Like
And music. This same exact happened in 1950. This same
right.
exact like situation where like disco was what cat music and like tropical house is to us, disco was to the 80s, to the early 80s. So when people are like, what are we gonna do now? Michael Jackson hit them with that Thriller, and they didn't have to ask ever again. And like that is about to happen. I don't know why. I just get the feeling that there's gonna be like another American artist who's gonna really shock us with something incredible and new and refreshing and innovative. And
we need it. We definitely need it. I can't remember. Like, I'll listen to the radio sometimes, and I cannot remember those songs like an hour later.
Right.
Like, I just like, was I even listening to music, or was it just, you know, like elevator sounds or whatever? Like, it's, and I feel like the way about K-pop sometimes too. Well, most of the time now, but like, I'll listen to a song and I'll be like, wow, that's generic as crap. Like, I don't, there's nothing discerning about it. It's not like I'm gonna listen to that song 5 years from now. Like, unless you have sentimental value, I guess. Like, that's one thing. But for the most part, it's like I have no reason to listen to you after this, and I don't remember the song. I don't remember who sang it. I don't remember the lyrics. I don't remember anything about it. So, wait, what? Our topic was Edon and Hyuna, right?
We left that a long time.
We ran a different way. We said,
Well,
like, wait, what were we talking about?
Well, we kind of went into the other topic, which was BTS, and then went into another topic, which is fine, which is fine.
Oh, yes.
It's good because we had a nice multi-layered topic, nice discussion about lots of different things.
Yeah.
So,
no, you know, it was all totally like everything that we talked about was stuff that I'm not really seeing a lot of other like podcasts or like sites sort of talking about. So
no, it's fine. It's
exactly
fine.
That's like things that we should be talking about.
Yeah.
So yeah.
And I think that the reason why I like this podcast is that we, I guess, like, no, I don't guess. I know it's like, it's not like surface level. I mean, I just saw a video like 2 days ago, and like the first thing the other person said was like, "Oh, this is cute," and I was like, "Really?" Like, of all things to say, that's like, it's very like surface level kind of stuff. Like, there's no like real, because I mean, if I did like really like looked at really reviewed K-pop videos or videos in general, I know I could talk about it, like the visuals, like things like that. I know like with, if it's English, I can talk about the lyrics right off the bat. With the K-pop, I would need subtitles, and even then I'm like, I hope this translation is like, you know, as close as possible to you know, originally what they're saying. Because I mean, if they say like some little subtext
Learning?
nuance thing, I'm totally gonna miss it. But you know, so I know I could do that because I guess I'm looking at things a certain way and not trying to be like, oh, let me just keep it really PG friendly or like somewhat entertaining so I get all these views and all this kind of stuff.
Yep.
So
That's why I don't like reaction videos. I like, I'm not saying that all of them are bad because I do like Jesse Life's reaction videos and like some other people, but I watch like I've seen some other ones where like the song was clearly crap, the music video was clearly boring. It's like, oh, this is good. Work it, sis. I was like, what is going on here? Like,
right.
I mean,
you
that's
need
the
to
thing.
stop.
After a while, once you get, you know, into, you know, you get into you get into like the you get into like the actual, you know, people will start recognizing you as, oh, you're the person that does the reaction videos. Then it's like you're expected to give a certain type of, you know,
Critique, I guess.
response. Yeah, every single
You're a nice
time.
one. You can't be real critical or say like you don't like it because then you're a hater and all this. Like,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
God
yeah.
forbid, you know, you actually want them to improve instead of saying this
The crazy
and that's the thing with this podcast. I want us to be able to give whatever our opinions are, any space and time, like, you know, whatever you're feeling. I want people to be able to feel like they can be honest. I don't want us to feel like, you know, I have to say whatever this is because, you know, I we just kind of reviewed this this MV like few minutes before, and I don't want to say, you know, something bad about, you know, I want us to be able to be honest. So yeah, I mean, it's fine as long as you guys don't mind staying up this late. But I think you guys, I think you guys have talked yourselves out at this point.
We
I
have
wrote it in just for this. We were like, I gotta say this. Ooh.
gotta say everything.
Yeah, I think so, because you guys pretty much went through everything that I was going to. I was going to mention something about BTS, and I don't remember something else. So unless there's anything else that you guys wanted to mention.
No, I think everything. I feel like if we open a can of worms, we're gonna be here for another like 3 hours. So
that's
We'll be
what
like-
we have another episode for.
exactly,
yeah.
exactly. You know what? I do think that like maybe short like special episodes might be better than for some certain things that don't fit into the format.
Well, I did send you guys, if you guys check your email, I did.
Yes.
Then this may be something I might cut this out of the
Yeah.
podcast.
Yes,
But I did
please.
send
Yes,
I did
please.
send you guys. I did do a new calendar, so for you guys to kind of put in like when you guys are available and not available. So it's kind of like Google Calendars, but it's not, where you can kind of fill in when you are available week to week and when you're not available. And so I can kind of get a better idea of, okay, if this is a certain week where I want to try and get a certain group together, you know, who is available and who isn't available. At least it gives me a better idea. So
Yeah.
So
Right.
look out for that in your email.
Yes, I see it in my email.
Okay, yeah.
I
Yeah,
didn't know how
so-
it worked, but I responded.
Yeah, it works just like Google email. So you just kind of go in and then click on like whatever days that you are available and just kind of like, let me know, like, put your name and, I'm available at this time, from this time to this time. And yeah. And then we'll go from there. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, if that's all that there is, I think that was a pretty good discussion. So I want to again thank you guys for being here and being present for our podcast. Thank you guys. If you were not here, there would be no podcast. So I would like to thank G-Min, Nat, and Jay for being here and giving their opinions, and they're always welcome. You can always reach us at NYA Netizens at Twitter, and NY Not Your Average Netizens at gmail.com. And I think that is it. So thank you for joining us for another podcast, and we will see you next time.
Bye.
Shout out to
Everybody drink
D-Crunch.
water.
Bye, everybody.
Oh, I forgot that was a real group.
Drink water, everybody. Okay, it's really hot, so what you stay hydrated. Wear that sunscreen too.
Bye.
Bye.